There's too many good games on
You're
it.
streaming.
Live on stream?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Cool. And we got 3 minutes till we're on the app.
I was gonna say, how close is our 30 seconds?
If anybody says Kinetic Adventures is your best game, you can get out of it right now.
What about Connectimals?
Leave.
What about Milo? The game that never was.
Milo.
The one where you had your tiger and you get the. Oh, yeah, no.
It's the one where they. No, it's the one with the little boy. You played games with a little boy.
That sounds like a pedophile's dream.
Yeah, right.
It never released. It was how they were trying to sell the Kinect.
What about Rockstar table tennis?
It's awesome because
not a
it
bad
was a
game.
game that was made to improve the physics in Grand Theft Auto.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and link the fucking video while we're chilling here and about to start. Doubt there's anyone that's jumped on immediately. Was like, oh,
Yeah.
they're fucking on.
Oh, gotta silence my phone.
Oh yeah, do that, everyone. Your phones, get off the sound.
I remember most of my drops when we were doing the show was just on my phone, so I had to plug it in. I forgot to turn the ringer off. You'd be like playing a sound clip, and then someone fucking text you.
Just fucking goes. All right. Oh, we still got the Throwback Vibes title. There you go.
Holy apple juice in this.
You know, Mountain Dew is mostly orange juice.
I doubt that.
Concentrated orange juice.
It's not mostly water.
Well, it's a third ingredient. It's right after carbonated water.
There you go.
25 milligrams of methamphetamine.
If only.
Just plain water
Is that a
and
lot?
liquid LSD.
I mean, it's like Coke used to have Coke back in the day. It's like, yeah, Mountain Dew still has meth in it.
I feel like that
Showing
might
'em up.
not be a lot for meth, considering, like, a fucking, what do you call it? A crystal?
A shard.
A shard
A
of
shard?
meth? Yeah. A shard of meth is, like, somewhere around, like, 60% purity
Walter
if
White
it's
and the
junk or
Crystal
something.
Shards.
30 seconds, all clear.
There's bad radio, good radio, and chaotic radio. In that order.
How good is the kind of gaming show? Turns out, it's pretty good.
What's up, everybody? This is the Kind of Gaming Show. I'm Connor, and we're missing Andrew, but we've got the normal crew here. Miguel,
Yeah, what up?
Brandon,
Hey,
Bernard,
Yo.
And
as a
the
guest tonight-
abnormal crew.
Yeah, the abnormal crew. I am my brother, Daryl, Rick
Whoa, whoa.
Styles. He's here tonight joining us.
And
Maybe-
no, it is not 2012. I'm back on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. I used to be here 5 years ago for Dante Mania. And this place looks a lot different and a lot better. So kudos to
Oh, that's good at
the
least.
current talent and management. This place is not in a fucking closet in a soccer arena.
You're
still
welcome.
it's Bernard's
exists.
working, doing, yeah.
Yeah, pretty fucking good. So we're gonna be going over our top 5 Xbox 360 games because that's what we do is fucking top 5s. And
Takes 2 hours to do it.
yeah, but at first, some cool little tidbits. Actually, I pulled up this. It's the Nintendo Switch is fucking selling like a goddamn disease, and
But you don't sell diseases.
it's a
Nothing-
good
yeah.
disease. It's spreading.
You don't live in North Korea.
You're right.
So, I favorably, I really enjoy the Switch, but it just this last number from this week is 3.3 million units in Japan, which actually beats the PS2's first year sales in Japan.
God damn.
And
They still got the rest of this month.
yeah, that's more than the Wii U sold its entire lifetime in Japan
Wow.
already. And
I like how that's not more than it's sold over here.
I like how
Every
it's,
other Japanese console, Japan's like all over.
yeah,
but I like how it's not that surprising either.
Yeah, because
It's like, oh, the Wii U.
that bad. Like,
You know?
yeah, usually Japan's pretty loyal to theirs. Like Xbox fucking has never sold well in Japan.
No,
And
it's an
then-
American-made console.
Right, and then it's like, okay, well, we have fucking Sony and Nintendo have been fine the whole time.
Well,
Not in this case.
Sony kind of came, or
So-
PlayStation came from Nintendo,
Right,
so they're
From
kind of the
that.
same thing.
sure.
Kind of.
Um,
It said PlayStation on the Super Nintendo. It matters.
if we're they haven't done the worldwide sales after the holiday season yet. Before all the holiday sales started, well, they started but completed. It was sitting at just over 10 million. Yeah, it's crazy because the Wii U's total sales in the 5 years that it's been out is 13.5.
And just my store alone sold like 400 just in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
So
once
they
those
go
are all
quick.
total, they're thinking that it beat the Wii U before a year has even gone by.
Oh yeah, I mean we still have like 2 months, right?
What's still the
Came
number
out
one
March?
launch though of all time?
The-
PS2
the
or what?
PS
No, PS2's not the
uh,
number one launch. It's
no.
number one of all time.
okay.
PS4 had a very good opening run. The Switch is actually outpacing that just
The
by a
Ouya
hair.
was number one.
Of course. No, I think it would do. I think Nintendo would win the whole console war if they supplied us with enough to sell.
They're doing pretty
'Cause
well.
everybody is
like,
out.
Yeah, they're like it's surprising though because like I said, PS4 was like praised for being supplied really well, but the Switch has sold more than that.
Yeah, and that's
So-
weird
So it's crazy to think
because
about
they
that.
can't seem to find it anywhere,
And then
and the library isn't that
Well, I think
big.
it's because they were manufacturing the PS4 so much that it wasn't an issue how well it was selling.
That's true.
Yeah.
Nintendo just can't keep up.
And it makes it more desirable the harder
Yeah.
it is to find.
It's all a work, dude. They do
well,
that-
see that's the
it's
thing
all
is
a
this
work.
seems like an actual
The
shortage.
fucking Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and
Well, see, because
Well,
if you
they've
look
always
at the,
been bad at it
yeah.
since the fucking the Nintendo, the NES.
yeah, well, if you look at how Nintendo's done in the past, there has been weird numbers where it's like you guys should be able to keep up with that. Whereas this time they actually are pacing ahead of everything. It's like okay, wait, they might actually fucking have a shortage this time.
I didn't have a problem getting the Switch.
Yeah, you got it,
no problem.
yeah,
and not even that early. I think in like November.
Oh
So,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right when they ramped up the production run
Yeah.
though. They doubled how much they were making every month.
Cut
So,
it at a good time.
yeah, perfect timing. It's a good system though. Two of my well, actually 3 games from my Game of the Year last year list were from Switch.
Oh yeah, that's last year now.
So,
I haven't
Yeah.
even fucked with it yet though. I'm just letting my daughter have her own system for once. I'm busy with my own shit.
Yeah, you're doing a whole Dreamcast deal.
Oh
going on.
no, yeah, I just bought it. I'm so freaking late to the party for everything. I didn't know until this summer how easy it is to mod a PSP like the old ones. No, nobody ever told me. I used to have a Dreamcast back in the day. Nobody told me you could just burn it on a regular CD. Like that's like vital information.
I
that
know
would've
you
liked
haven't
to
been here
know.
in 5 years, but can you speak into the mic?
Oh, sorry.
Thank
My
you.
bad.
Oh yeah, that's a sideways
Oh.
mic. That's also.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
My bad.
there you go.
I must have just been hearing him because
Yeah.
I didn't have any trouble hearing.
Oh,
him.
there we go.
No, it was really low. That's all.
There you go.
Okay, my bad.
But yeah, fucking. That's funny that you didn't know about the PSP. That's
No
actually
idea.
that's what killed the PSP.
Yeah.
Actually, was all the rampant
Well, they
piracy.
gave it new life for me because working graveyard. I have 7 hours of downtime a day, so
There you go.
got plenty.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah.
can do that with the Vita too. Yeah, you just use an
Uh,
SD card.
If you have not SD cards, they have the proprietary cards on the.
Oh, really?
On the
Is that
Vita,
still
yeah.
called a homebrew?
Yeah, you can call it homebrew. You can call it fucking flash modding. It has to be 3.6 or earlier though. If you actually updated your system past 3.6, you can't do the custom firmware.
That's weird.
yeah.
You know what I find interesting though?
What's up?
PSP was awesome.
It
Right,
was.
we had the second Monster Hunter game and it was fantastic. All this stuff, Battlefront 2. But then the Vita came out and it's like, whoa, cool, another analog stick, touchscreen on the front and back. It's awesome. Doesn't sell.
Yeah,
In,
I don't
in
know anyone who
Japan
has
it
one.
does. Yeah, in
I-
Japan
I
it's
need-
big.
I had one for a long time. I'm probably
got
gonna have another one at
I
some
want
point.
one, but I just
traded
don't
it for
pay for
a
it.
modded DS.
All right, well,
It's a new 3DS that has free shop on it.
Technically, the Vita was the first console I bought on launch.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't even buy it on launch. That's
I never owned one, but I want one.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Switch was actually my first launch day console. It
Yeah.
was the first time I was able to be like, here we go,
Except for
fuck
the
it.
Xbox One, which I had to, when PS4 and Xbox One came out, I had to pick one because I didn't have that much money at the time. So I got
That's
the
a hard
Xbox.
decision for you?
Yeah.
Ouch.
What do you mean?
Bloodborne came out.
Yeah, that was
That was like
later.
a
that was way
year.
later.
It was
Like
like
a
half a
two-
year later.
No,
Sorry,
dude.
it was in February 2015. And
Yeah,
the
it came out
PlayStation
in
came out in
2013.
what, June or July of
Came out in
2014?
September of
2013.
2013, I believe.
Yeah, it was a year and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yeah.
2013? I had no
Yes.
idea.
Yeah. That's these
Either
consoles are
way.
getting old.
It's a PlayStation. Is there really an argument there?
I mean, I was on 360
I was
for that
too.
past generation, so I
was too.
Oh, Bernard. Was it? Wait, no, was that?
That was me.
Oh, you was, I was like, who the fuck is saying that? Because I didn't see your mouth moving.
Bernard
Oh.
doesn't whisper his shit. He owns up to his.
Yeah.
Fucking. So what are you doing with Dreamcast though? You're mentioning Neo Geo to me.
Oh no, yeah, you can get a Neo Geo boot disc and just same as just regular CDs, and yeah, I haven't started with the Neo Geo. I just got Samurai Showdown, but
What do you want,
Yeah.
dude? I got a whole bunch of stuff at home you can copy.
oh, yeah. I just needed just one RER with all the ISOs.
Well,
that would work.
No, here's what I got. I got a Nintendo disc, a Genesis disc, and then other games disc. So you can play all your old Nintendo games on it too.
Yeah, I tried the what's it called? I got one SNES emulator and it was garbage.
No.
But-
Just go Nintendo and Sega. You don't need to
Yeah.
pass that. SNES it runs like crap on the
yeah,
Dreamcast.
it's awful.
You got a SNES Classic that's flash.
Yeah, I know.
anyway,
I don't.
so
Yeah,
who
it's,
fucking
I don't
cares?
even need to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You allowed to talk about this? I mean, technically, it's all illegal.
I mean, we're not telling anyone where to go or how to do it.
Sure.
So there's that. So, plus Sega doesn't even make consoles anymore. So,
It's true. They make great games.
yeah, that's actually.
Bayonetta.
Speaking of, it's funny. We were talking. I said that was the downfall of PSP. That's actually what killed the Dreamcast too. Was the ability to pirate games so easily.
But you could play
because
PS1 games on it.
That one
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know about.
Yeah, Dreamcast-
Like in the times.
Yeah, they weren't selling mini games because people were like, "Oh, you can just take a fucking random CDR from the 99-cent store
Yeah.
and put the game on it."
Well, you can do that with PS2. I did that on a lot of PS2 games.
You could.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
you had to mod the
You
system
can use them
itself,
on.
though, didn't you?
Not really. You just use. You can use on either one, the fat one, which is what I used.
Uh-huh.
The disc tray where it comes out, you can take off that little part, and then just like cut a little indent on like a credit card or something, and you go.
Oh, and
and
you
just
pull it
out.
open.
So once it boots, you just put in your pirated disc, put it in, and it works.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So you had to have a flash disc going on.
Yeah, just any disc.
That's kind of how the Dreamcast was, but it has an open lid. You just
Well, yeah,
press the button and it was like.
it's
put a
easier
boot
with the
disc.
Slim because of that. You can just go.
Oh, yeah.
You just
oh,
swap
yeah,
the
'cause
disc.
it's just a pop open.
Yeah, with the fat one, I had to sit there and like look it up. Like, how do I open this?
That just made me think. This is a random thought. The PS3 second Slim. I don't know what you want to call it.
It's called the Slim.
Because they have the Slim, but then they had another one.
It's called the New K.
the new K.
I don't know why. That's what it is at GameStop, so that's what we
Weird.
call it.
That is like the weirdest.
Oh, the sliding door one.
Do you know why they
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
that though?
Why is that?
Because all of them started having motor problems on the disk drive.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Oh, like input outputs.
Yeah, mine is really slow. Like I can feel it. It's like,
Forgot about that.
My
Sucks it
360
in.
had a problem with that. It just the tray would not open.
yeah,
You had to
my
fucking
original white
hit
one
it.
too. You bang it and it pops out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dreading the day a disc gets stuck in my PS4 because that's one of those the same one.
Oh,
as the
yeah.
first the three.
Well, it's got that thing where you can crank the motor yourself.
On the old one, the newer one's more complicated.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because the old one, like you just slide the panel over and just unscrew the PlayStation logo, screw and take it out.
Yeah.
But the new one doesn't have that top panel, so you'd have to take off the entire casing.
Doesn't
Oh, wow.
doesn't
Yeah.
the Xbox the one doesn't it have like a button on the side like you could push a pin in and it'll just push the disc out?
I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you like drag it along,
So
kind
then
of
just
squeeze
in
it out.
case it just has it there. It's like
Yeah,
a
they had that on the 360 as well. If you take off the little disc tray panel,
Knew about that one, yeah.
there was you could get it with a paper clip.
The fact that they have to put these things in is probably a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's probably
mean,
something they should work on.
Mechanical reliance,
Yeah,
like-
well, I think it's weird too because like everyone likes the physical buttons, and they tried to put those digital buttons on us forever. So when you
Yeah.
like someone walks by the console just a little too close, or a cat comes up and just turns.
Oh,
her.
especially with the one.
Yeah,
The place, yeah, and the PS4 also. Like the
But
PS4
no,
would
but
get
especially
hot.
with the Xbox One because it's this big ass circle that anything can brush. Like, the PS4 ones are these tiny.
But what
little-
about the eject button? That's still a touch though.
Yeah, they are both.
Yeah.
But the
touch.
PlayStation had problems of overheating. So if
Oh,
it got
yeah.
too warm, it would activate both buttons. So it would either turn it off
'Cause it was
Really?
heating
or
up.
eject the disc or try to do both.
What? That
Yeah.
never happened to me.
It never happened to me either, but I saw videos of it. It was hilarious.
It's weird. You have any issue with touch buttons?
No.
No.
Good.
Other than no, I hit the eject button almost like probably like 40% of the time I plug in a USB.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like every time.
Yeah, I remember when I got the new Xbox, this guy was like, "Oh, it's a fucking button, yeah!" Like he was all excited about a button.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, even the new PlayStations are like that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like they all strayed away from it.
yeah. 'Cause everyone fucking hated the touch button. It was
Yeah, it's garbage.
it's weird. Like it was unnecessary tech. But so what's everyone been playing this week? Because I've been playing the fuck out of GTA 5 again.
No, I played GTA 5 once for a couple hours, and I was like, "This is why I don't play Grand Theft Auto after number 3."
Like online, I should rephrase.
It
specifically.
still feels the same regardless.
Really, you don't like it? What about it?
I don't like real world simulators.
Okay.
I don't like, Call of Duty simulates real life war. I don't like GTA simulates real life whatever city you're in.
But you fly
but-
jetpacks and kill people with.
But the
Airplanes.
environment, like it's not my thing. The closest I get to real
So
life.
you want
like, I don't know.
fantasy?
Yeah.
So you're just not into.
That's
think
my
like
biggest gripe
BioShock
with
might be
five.
the
With
fin-
5, it's like you said, it's too sim. You gotta,
Yeah.
actually you have to try. You actually have to aim, and
Oh yeah.
everything like you hit like crash the car and you fly out, or it's a little too real.
It's pretty
Like
weird.
San
yeah.
Andreas is still the
Really-
best when
really
it came.
kooky.
Nah, I like
Yeah, where-
Vice City because the environment.
Yeah,
Because I like neon lights.
Well, that's the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
The
Vice
only- I
City.
think the only real difference other than LA and Miami is like I think you can climb over shit in San
It's-
Andreas, which made it
Oh,
a
that's right.
little easier to navigate. I finally played what's it called, Vice City Stories.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe none of them late to the party. I never had a PSP,
That's
so I
fucking
never. That
good.
one was actually better than Vice City,
Um,
in my opinion.
my actual favorite Grand Theft Auto game is Chinatown Wars.
That was the one on DS, right?
It was on DS and
What's wrong with
PSP.
you?
Well, it's on PSP. It's better graphic on PSP. but
Yeah, of course.
The mini games and everything, but like, it's just fucking fun. Like, just being a drug dealer in that game is like probably one of the most fun things you can do in like a handheld game. I don't know why. Just going around buying and selling drugs was.
I guess a
super fun.
handheld it works.
It worked really well. It was really fun, and the story was really neat. Like, I definitely recommend you play that one because
Yeah.
it's an original story and everything that wasn't just tying off on the console issues.
I finally just started. I finally just got 5 for PS4. I had it for PS3, and then I got the PS4 like a month after I got it. I'm like, I'm not gonna rebuy this shit.
And you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, freaking how many like 4 years later,
Yeah.
3 years later. Like,
Yeah, it's because that was 2013 when GTA came
Yeah.
out on 360.
and it's finally
It's
20. I'm
definitely
like, I'm gonna wait till it's 20
2014 when
bucks,
remade.
Yeah, it was earlier. in
and
the
it didn't
year.
happen.
I did something like that too. I had Destiny on 360, then got a PS3, got Destiny on PS3. A month later, I got a PS4, but I got the Destiny PS4, so that one came with Destiny.
You had it bad.
so I had
Did
it on
you,
3.
did you have light level 28 characters on all 3 platforms in the
Light
beginning?
level was 20, dude. They didn't have light levels back then.
Yeah, they did.
No, it had levels. Like
Yeah,
level
it was the
levels.
light level.
It
You
wasn't a light
no,
level.
it became yellow afterwards. Yes,
It was level
it wasn't
20,
called light.
And
but-
then it went by
And you had
weapon
the-
damage.
yeah, and you had the star thing. It was your number turned
That
yellow.
just meant you were max level.
No, you got that before that as well. It turned yellow, and you got that little thing indicating that
Yeah,
you were max.
You could go up to level
base
30
level
at-
to
That was before.
in the first week. You get up to level 30.
That was after they released the raid.
No, it was like the
What up?
first week of the game.
Yep,
No,
turn them down.
this is when the raid
Okay.
came out. Because that was when you could get to 30.
Yeah, you couldn't
with
get to
the
30
raid.
till
Oh,
the
okay.
raid.
But either way, I'm saying like
But
yeah,
20, but 28 was the max before that.
Yeah.
And it
Either
was-
way, I played a lot of it, and I'm still playing a fuck ton of Destiny 2. It's really good.
I have fallen off just because I don't know. I just no.
They
not-
put
not- not for my
Telesto back
friends.
in the game. I mean,
Oh, that came back really?
yeah, it's
Huh.
my favorite gun of
Yeah.
all time. The only thing I don't like about this one is it's a power weapon, but because of
Yeah,
that,
'cause it's a
it's
fusion.
extremely slow. It has the slowest charge time of any fusion rifle,
I
and that
played
sucks.
Destiny. That's about all I can say.
It's all right. It's
I
not for
played
everybody.
Destiny.
I've talked to so many people that hate it. and
I didn't
I'm
think
like,
it was.
don't
I didn't
care.
think it was bad. I just didn't get super into it to where
It's
I was
fine.
like knew the name of guns and fucking
Oh man.
multi-timed raids.
I look
and
at
all that stuff.
stats like just a little sliver. I can tell exactly what it's gonna do. It's terrible.
Yeah, I use an item manager or something to get the exact numbers because I can't fucking tell all the time. It'll be like this one little sliver of red, and it's like, how many points does that represent?
So it depends on the manufacturer of the weapon.
It's like, oh, that's 30 extra damage.
Depends on the manufacturer of the weapon because they
Okay.
produce different bullets, and that's how
Oh,
meta the game gets.
That's right. Oh yeah, your MO type like accurized ballistics and shit.
Well, that too, but there's like Suros and Amulon and like all these manufacturers of the weapons in the game,
I know.
and all of those have a general statistic, like a general way they're gonna play or
Yeah.
fire, and then based on those statistics, so you can have one that has like, half the stats of another auto rifle with this auto rifle made by a different person, and it's gonna be so much better.
Yeah, you
The
kinda
rate of
just have
fire
to-
may be lower there, but it's gonna be twice as fast when you're shooting it.
You kind of just have
so.
to test the guns out,
Mhm.
even if they look the same on paper.
It's
Just
really
use-
cool.
Just use No Land Beyond.
No.
That's the only.
Nope,
good
get
thing.
out of here.
Man.
It's fucking stupid, dude.
Dude, that's that
Good.
pro shit.
It's not even. It's
Oh my
stupid.
god, dude. Yes.
Boop. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah,
So
but if you pop the
fucking
headshot,
stupid.
Every shot
Yeah,
is a
but it
no
takes
scope.
so long to reload
It
that
does.
it's
That's what
useless.
Makes it, that's what makes it manly.
It's not. Anyway.
Dude, yeah, that's challenge mode.
No. Crimson is where it's at. A burst shot. Okay, that's what I use. It's an exotic hand cannon.
Crimson?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it-
an exotic hand cannon.
Is that new?
It came with Osiris. So yeah, the
Okay,
expansion.
yeah.
It shoots like a pulse rifle, but it's a hand cannon. So every shot is like a hand cannon shot. So imagine Fatebringer,
Oh.
Remember that?
Ugh.
do rapid,
Really?
and it has like no kick. It's just,
Ugh.
and it also heals you on every kill and reloads automatically on every headshot.
Ooh, is that like
It's
dominant in
wonderful. Yeah, it rips people
Crucible
apart.
right
in-
now?
Yeah,
Huh.
Sounds ridiculous.
I have a lot of fun with it.
You know what's funny? Like I mentioned, No Land Beyond. That's kind of how I just play games. Because even when I'm playing GTA, I'll use the fucking Civil War musket, which is one shot, and you literally start loading it and everything.
That was pretty fun. I got convinced to get GTA 5 again on PS4. Fell off again, but anyway, it was when that expansion, that whole like thing had come
Yeah.
out. We got the fucking muskets, and we would just like get 5 of us in the streets, all just
There's
fucking
also
scene.
the fucking marksman pistol. It's like the same thing. It's just like, and then click down, grab one bullet, put it in, click it up, and then you're just like, it's a fucking old school dueling pistol.
It's ridiculous.
And it's really funny because there's times when like there's my buddy and I, there was this griefer and he was like straight up cheating. He didn't have God mode enabled, but he was teleporting all over the place. And I was like,
Is that a mod? Can you do that?
fucking people cheat like a motherfucker
Cool.
on GTA.
I don't think it's really cheating because there's not really an objective.
Yeah, that's true. But well, there actually is a lot of open world objectives now that they've added to GTA.
But you have to
Online.
like select it, right?
no.
No,
It just
you
happens in
just
the world.
you just do it now, and then if you become like a VIP or a CEO, I was gonna say CIO for some reason.
Okay.
You do all this stuff. You can like run trials and all this stuff, like delivering drugs to your own base and all this stuff, and stealing cars. And people in the world that are not involved with your mission can fuck your mission up.
Oh hell yeah!
And that's the terrible part about hackers now is it's like they could just fuck up your actual missions that you're doing now.
That's cool. But you know
And,
why I didn't like GTA Online the most?
Why is that?
Because it's all 10-year-olds.
Oh, not on PC.
Okay.
yeah.
On PS4, it's just a bunch of 10-year-olds.
On PC,
I know that because I sell it to them with their parents' permission, of course.
I'd imagine.
I read all of them.
You
I
wink,
read
no.
all and my coworkers laugh at me because I'll sit and go, "Are you okay with the blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, strong sexual content,
First-
strong language?"
First person strippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first mission of the game as Franklin. You walk around the
Yeah,
corner of
that's
his
right.
house, you go to a strip club because that's what the first mission is. You get
Yeah,
a lap dance.
Then you can take them home.
And you can
fuck them.
touch the boobs. Like that is an option on the buttons. You can press the button to grab the boobs.
It does, yeah. It's like it's grope the boobies.
Yeah, and little 10-year-olds are like, "I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it, Mom. I swear."
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Because
it's
that's the
even
first thing
funnier.
I did. I was almost 30-year-old.
I think the funniest shit about that too is you can enable first person mode, and then so it starts doing all the hand touch and stuff.
Yep.
But you can let go of the controller at that point, and every time she's brushing up against you, it vibrates. And I'm like, this is
Oh,
Oh my god.
this is
You
something.
serious?
Huh.
The worst
Yeah.
part is that the kids want this game for this shit, and the internet is right there.
You know that there are like
Internet.
I
There's-
still think the most unnecessary thing in that game is able to smoke weed in your living room.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like that's
why?
like I'm like that's not how weed's
That's-
like.
Why am
Weed
I
doesn't make
watching
anything-
someone
you're,
do
you're
this?
getting these kids' hopes up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
What are they smoking LSD? Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Start
fucking
tripping.
everything gets all
Yeah.
hazy and green, and it fucks you up when you're driving. I'm like, that's not.
But you also have to sit there and watch him. Like, I don't want to watch someone smoke weed.
Or you're in first person, and it looks like you're doing it.
Oh
with a-
yeah, because it translates through the screen.
Yeah, right.
I guess it can be a break to actually take a hit. I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know,
But
you
in
know,
real life,
instead
not
of just
in a
hitting
game.
instead of just hitting pause.
It's
know,
like you don't
can-
sit in a game and go to
Well,
a bar and just hit the drink button.
People are pathetic. They want to smoke with their freaking
Their
with
digital
with-
self.
Yeah, with their digital self.
I guess when I make a character in a game, though, I try to make something that's
Not
projectable, not something like this is my buddy,
Oh,
because
I
I'm
see.
controlling them. It would be weird.
My dude looks
It's
like
weird.
me if I was like around mid 30s and haggard from a life of crime.
I like playing as female characters a lot.
Yeah, I thought
Pretty much
about
all the
that
place.
at times. Like I do that on a lot of RPGs, mostly because you're staring at their ass for 100,000 hours.
Then you got that too.
But I did it.
100,000 hours. I just realized.
Yes.
If you play Destiny, that's how it feels like.
Fucking.
You never see your character in third person. You do.
Yeah,
but
you do
not
a lot.
frequently.
You
Eh.
can if you want. I
Wait,
run around with
if
a
you-
sword just so I can see
Oh.
someone. I play as a guy in Destiny, okay, so it's different
Right.
because I look cool.
Yeah.
One of my characters in Destiny was a girl just because I wanted to make him a Toko because it was like, oh, you
Alright.
can go invisible.
That's true. That makes
And
sense.
that was the whole point. That was
Oh, that's smart.
literally the whole reason I did it. I was like, I could be an invisible like fighter, and I was like, I'm gonna make it Matoko, and I gave her
That's
the purple hair and everything.
Yeah. I've only
Fucking,
played it the same character since 2014 when it came out. So I've had the same guy.
Same.
You know,
It's pretty cool. Even in Destiny 2, it translates your
Yeah,
character.
all three of my characters I moved over.
It's rad.
oh nice.
I don't touch my. I played a warlock like before Dark Below came out,
Mm-hmm.
and max leveled it, and I was like, never doing that again. Played as a Titan a little bit. They went back to it during Rise of Iron, and I was like, it's enough of being unstoppable. I don't like that.
The
You know what's? Never mind.
the only justifiable time I think like reasoning behind playing a woman other than making him a Toko that I had was when I was playing Fallout 4.
Okay.
I was like, I really like the voice actress because she was Jack
Yeah.
in Mass Effect. And that was my reasoning for wanting to play a girl instead of a guy. And plus, I just heard stories that the guy voice actor was shitty. in Fallout
Yeah,
4.
he's pretty lame.
Seemed fine to me.
Like,
I mean,
I heard
it's
he was
not-
just boring. Like,
yeah,
He
exactly.
doesn't, like, get all into it.
But I
And
like
then,
the anything that has a really intricate character customization is when I like playing as a girl because then I can make her look pretty.
Yeah,
That's
for me,
important.
like when I'm playing World of Warcraft, I was like, I'm gonna be playing this for like probably like 40 hours a week. I'm gonna stare at a woman's ass.
This
the
is
whole
going to be
time.
my full time job. It needs to be good.
Yeah, I don't play WoW like at all. I only played it for like a month or so.
My
and
argument
then,
against
yeah.
that is always like, well, you should be looking at the game around you. But I guess in World of Warcraft,
In World
nah,
of Warcraft,
who
no,
gives a fuck?
you're fucking
Final-
staring at a person's ass for hundreds of hours.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 is mostly focused on appearance for me. I try to make her look really nice.
But like PUBG, now I'm playing a dude in that. Like, even though you do see, it just looks cool. I'm fucking playing as a badass.
Yeah.
I just got the fucking Columbine coat
All right.
in
That's-
PUBG.
I feel pretty cool in Destiny right now because I made my whole armor. I found a couple cool shaders and armor setup that I can look like Ava Unit 1. Looking on Genesee Beginning.
There's a purple and green shader going on.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have to mix some things around, but it works.
Oh yeah, I guess there are some that just have the like inherent green on them. Throw a purple on that.
It's just nice being able to, look like an anime character.
I'm checking right here. It
What are
says
you
check the audio feed. I was opening up in case we have commenters.
Already did.
Yeah, I
Sounds good.
figure this guy is behind it,
Cool.
Bernard's at the computers.
Well, I hope we're good.
Do we want to start on our
Get
top?
started on that list. Yeah.
Yeah, we should start.
This was a really hard one.
I played Cuphead. Okay, I'm done.
It's a
Nice.
good
That
one.
was
That's
an
on
Xbox
Xbox One. And it's
Oh,
extremely hard. But
Before we do jump in the list, because you guys both missed last week, just go with like your top game of the year.
Nier Automata and Neo.
I
But
knew
Nier Automata.
Yeah, I knew that was
we
coming
knew
too.
that.
I know, I figured.
Injustice 2.
Oh.
Okay.
That was a fucking cool one. Yeah. There we go. Dale, did you?
NHL 17. You said best game of last year.
In the year before that, NHL
And the-
16.
16. Yeah.
18 was out last year, though.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
You get what he meant. Which the NHL.
No,
game
he
of
liked
choice.
NHL 17 the most.
No, it
last
was
year.
yeah. It's slightly better to the max.
I mean, people say that about NBA 2K17 being better than 18.
I can't
Because
tell the
18 they
difference.
changed a lot. Well, 18 is more like Grand Theft Auto 5. Like it has a little city and you walk around and go do stuff.
What the
Huh.
fuck?
I think
Yeah.
all they added to 18 for NHL was on defense you can move the stick.
Wow.
That's about it.
Dude, whoa.
$60. $60.
They got to spread
Every
those,
year, $60. Cash
spread
grab.
those improvements out.
You haven't
Call of
been able
Duty,
to move the
Assassin's
stick.
Creed.
Yeah,
NHL.
it's pretty much like, look, you ain't gonna be able to play with anybody if you don't buy this. Like, so we're gonna hold you up. Yeah.
It just seems funny. It took them that long to be like, you can now control the stick. on
Yeah.
These are my
Oh.
favorite things, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, FIFA, NBA, NHL, Madden.
WWE.
One that you can rely on every
Actually,
fucking year
To disappoint you.
to be exactly the goddamn same.
Didn't 2K WWE actually stop recently?
Nope, they had
Oh, this-
18 come
okay.
out.
Oh,
Advertise
okay.
the fuck out of that one.
Honorable mentions: Xbox 360. I have a fat honorable mentions list.
Yeah, it's hard because a lot of them are just the same on PS3 or PC.
Yeah, that actually saved me a little bit, but now I'm like, okay, it's gonna be just as hard to make a PS3 list. So like anything I don't mention tonight, where it's like, why the fuck isn't this on yours? It's like probably because I played it on PS3.
Yeah, these ones, like my 5 are all ones that I played first on 360.
So like
So
the
it
honorable,
wasn't really-
like legit honorable mentions. Resident Evil 5 is one that I fucking really loved. Grand Theft Auto 4, Call of Duty 2, Forza franchise, Fable 2, Rayman Origins, Dead Space, Torchlight, Fallout 3, Gears of War,
I'm gonna go to the
Orange
bathroom. I'll be
Box.
right back.
Left 4 Dead, Skate franchise, Street Fighter 4, and Geometry Wars. Those are my honorable mentions. It's a fucking big list, dude.
Next time you're limited to 2.
All right. Does anyone have honorable mentions that I did not mention?
Can we
Yeah.
not just do that before our
Yeah,
5?
Mad Hazard and South Park Stick of Truth
Nice.
and Mirror's Edge.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna call mine Halo Wars.
That's your honorable mention.
That's my honorable mention.
I
Halo
have
Wars
to
was-
say, I have 2, but one of them is all the Halo games because none of them made it on my list.
right.
And the other one, I have to give an honorable mention because I didn't play it first on the 360, so I feel weird. But it's Dark Souls. I feel like that needs to be on every list.
Mhm.
But I didn't play it first on 360, so I'm not putting it on. here.
Actually, I've got another one.
Go for
Dead
it.
Rising.
All right,
Dead Rising.
I'll say Dead Space also because I like that trilogy.
I didn't put Red Dead Redemption on this list. That's because I put it on PS3.
Okay, same
Yeah.
thing. Cool.
All right. I guess I'll open us up. Number 5 is Castle Crashers.
Wow,
Fucking
way to be an Andrew over here.
Oh,
No, Castle Crashers.
I
was
know,
genuinely-
pretty
I
fucking
know.
legit, man.
It's just because it doesn't have a
genuinely
disc. I like to
Oh,
make
yeah.
jokes about it.
good. You could get a disc.
Castle
you?
Crashers?
Yeah, you could buy it in store, couldn't you?
I actually found discs.
Or was
of
it a
Cuphead.
card?
Oh my god! Somebody brought in a disc of Cuphead, and it was like in an Xbox One, still sealed in plastic. I didn't know they made it because GameStop doesn't sell it.
I think you
Yeah.
actually got a
Yeah.
download when you bought it in stores for Castle Crashers too. Now that I think about it,
Exactly. Yeah, Cuphead threw me off a lot because it was an actual physical, like AAA style box.
that's
Wow.
fun.
Oh,
There's a fucking yeah. Castle Crashers is the fucking shit though. I
But he
played
looks great.
I think I max level 12 characters.
Did Pit People ever come out? The new Behemoth game?
I don't know
I don't-
actually.
I haven't been keeping
I
track.
only
I-
played a little bit of the Castle Crashers because a friend had told me about it, but I was a big fan of Alien Hominid
Alien Hominid.
on GameCube.
Mhm.
I never beat that because it's
Neither did I.
fucking hard.
It is.
It's really, really
I'm
goddamn
really
hard.
bad at those kind of games. Like Cuphead, not gonna go back to Cuphead.
I'm
anymore.
usually not
It's
bad at those types
too
of
much.
games, but fucking Alien Hominid just fucked with me, and I just didn't. I didn't give it enough time to be like, okay, I'm gonna get good at this and beat it. I was just like, nah, I'll stop. But then again, I mostly played the one on the PC.
I didn't know they
uh,
made it on that.
It was an original Flash game.
Oh,
Yeah,
that makes
that's
sense.
on
though.
Newgrounds.
I mean, the animation looks like that.
And yeah, I played it on Newgrounds, and then it came out on Xbox.
Well,
And
oh,
then
Castle Crashers, yeah.
well, the Alien,
Alien
Hominid.
Hominid, really?
Yeah, and then
How was
but
it on
then I
GameCube?
just never played it through. Well, because Newgrounds has been around for like since.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why was
Was
it
it
on
like that?
GameCube? I guess I
Right.
should ask.
It was a test
Okay.
to see if it would sell.
But yeah, Castle Crashers was originally
Oh,
on
okay.
the Xbox Live
Oh,
Arcade.
interesting.
So.
Yeah, because you don't usually see things translate from both like Nintendo and Xbox. That one's really weird to do cross between.
Yeah, that does actually
Oh.
seem a little weird because I didn't know that Alien Hominid was on GameCube.
It's the only way I played it.
Mhm.
So that's my number 5.
Okay.
There you go.
Man, the more I thought about it, the more honorable mentions I could have had.
Just like
Yeah,
I
I'm
did.
just-
Well,
Yeah,
fuck
but
it.
I'm just not going to. My number 5 is Gears of War 2
All right.
because I think it was just the most fluid one of them all, like especially for the multiplayer.
I think
That's
that
it.
one also, in my opinion, had the like cleanest narrative where it actually had something for you to grasp onto and feel.
That's pretty good too. It was quite a story. It was a good roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
The 360 had a lot of really good sequels. Like the
Right.
number 2s on the 360 are incredible. I
That-
mean, Dead Space, Mass Effect,
Mhm.
Gears.
I think
Halo.
it's interesting to note that Gears, the trilogy, is on 360. Like it didn't
Right,
carry
the
over,
first trilogy.
whereas like Halo, carried over from the Xbox.
Well, Gears
original.
carried on too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it carried.
Oh,
on.
from the
It
Xbox
carried over. I'm
original.
saying it started
OG.
on. Yeah, the original trilogy started and ended on 360.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. And yeah, dude,
So
like
did
that was-
Bioshock, though.
Yes.
That's true, huh? I forgot it closed out before the. Anyway.
And it was exclusive at first.
It is
Anyway,
weird to think
go
about that fucking Infinite was on the 360
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way I had it.
because
At
everyone always
first.
looks at it as like one of the benchmarking games on PC, and
It's
then
incredible on PC, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Gears, I spent so much time like after school, I would come home and freaking all my buddies would hop online and we'd hit up either multiplayer or horde mode, and just spend the whole day fucking playing Gears of War 2.
Sweet.
I wanna
good-ass
point out
game.
something that I always did on Gears, which is like the scummiest shit you could do.
Huh.
Is we fucking took a spitball, put it right on the
Oh,
reticle,
jeez.
because you could actually shoot around corners and
Yeah,
it would
hip
hit.
fire.
Yeah, you could actually hit fire with that with the sniper rifle and just be like dead.
That's funny.
Yeah, just be around corners. All right, line up. There
It'd be funny
he
if
is,
you had like a
dead.
giant like 50 cal sniper, just boom,
Yeah.
one hand all bent.
Well, the fucking the sniper in Gears is pretty fucking heavy.
It
so-
is, but I mean those guys are also like,
yeah,
you know, their heads
Yeah,
drown in their
it-
shoulders.
It doesn't look so big, the normal one.
Yeah, that's true.
I forget what the fuck it's called.
I forget as well, but I played the shit out of Gears 3 mostly. I did play the other ones though.
Played the first one a lot because then I was like, well, that was cool. I don't really need much of the other ones.
I just I bought the rare replay and it came with
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Gears remastered.
The Ultimate Edition.
So
Yeah,
I'm like getting ready to play that.
it's a good one.
Did you play Gears, Joe?
I think I played the first one.
I love the last mission in the first one. Sorry.
I never finished it though. Just yeah. I'm not much for shooters, and you'll see by my
Yeah,
you'll see
I
by
know.
my list that like in the world of nerds, I'm pretty fucking lame. You know,
I had to
Like-
fucking talk you into playing Modern Warfare 2 that time, just because I was like, I know you'll love the.
Oh no, you had to show me the
no
no
Russian.
Russians. Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah. Because he's not a big shooter guy, and I was like,
I
check
like
this part
shooter.
out.
Like I used to like if not online. Like if I'm playing with somebody or like a LAN party or whatever, they're fine. But I cannot stand first person shooters online. I'm just not good enough.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, I play
it-
Destiny and that's it.
yeah, it's fine. Like I'll play like the campaigns or whatever. Like the one player, like that's fine. That's you know that's entertaining.
I
But
feel like it's not worth buying the game at that point, though.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say because back in the day when it was couch multiplayer, we used to play GoldenEye and
Oh,
fucking,
yeah, yeah.
and then we would land Doom and shit.
yeah.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
so
But yeah, I still remember going to the freaking playing Counter Strike at the
the cyber arcade.
yeah the
and shit.
cyber arcade and shit. What was my number? Shit, oh yeah. So speaking of shooters, my number 5 was Black Ops. That's what the only first person shooter on my list.
Okay.
But I forgot my honorable mentions though was not a game, but just the entire Xbox Live Arcade in general.
Oh
Because
yeah.
with 360, that was really the first console that I got online. I wasn't on.
It was the first one that was on.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know you could get on
Yeah,
like
you-
the PS2 and stuff.
Well, but the original Xbox like introduced Xbox Live, and that was
Yeah.
like that was new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, PS2 also had the
The
network adapter.
Dreamcast had online.
That's
Yeah,
right, it
had a
did. They had the
56
Sega Net.
56K
Go on, man.
modem.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Was this? What did the numbers mean, Mason? Was that Black Ops? Or was that
Yeah.
Black Ops 2? That was number 1, huh?
What the?
What did the numbers mean, Mason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Ops
But
1.
Black Ops mainly for the zombies though.
The
That
zombies
was-
were
yeah.
really good in that one.
Yeah.
That was honestly like I had a real hard time choosing between that and Modern Warfare 2 as my what is it 6th generation was the 360 and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as 6th generation shooter, like between like not Halo, it's like between those two, I'm like, fuck. I really liked Black Ops because they had really good balancing on it compared to Modern Warfare 2. Whereas Modern Warfare 2 was like, do you want to get skull fucked if you don't know what's going on right now? Or and it's
yeah,
like,
kinda.
and then it's like, but once you learn,
like
you
learning.
can do the skull fucking. It's like
That's how Dark Souls works.
Yeah.
That's why I love
I think Modern Warfare 2 stands as like that the pinnacle of like most fucked up overpowered shit, but everything's overpowered, so nothing's overpowered type thing.
That's
Right.
what Destiny's reaching, and it's getting kind of annoying.
Yeah,
They
but-
keep buffing everything.
See, and then
Anyway.
Black Ops 1 I really liked because it was still grounded on. It was grounded.
Why
as
do
a-
people like that? I keep hearing those boots on the ground is like a positive thing. I'm like, dude, how
I'm
many
not
people
spec-
want to fly?
I'm not saying specifically because of that.
No, because people like that. That's a thing.
It's
I can't. I know, but nobody
Like-
can give me a reason why. It's just I don't know.
well, see, my
I'm like-
reasoning is because there's other games that do momentum and movement
yeah.
like that better.
Like
And-
Dust.
And then it's like, and then Call of Duty was always like this kind of gold standard of a run and gun, go shoot. And and by it not being that anymore, that kind of faded away. And I was like, I want that gameplay. And then there's people who like try to clone COD, and it was like, we still don't have that because it's not doing it as well as you guys used to play. And so that was my always issue with it.
I played the first 2 Call of Duties on PC when they came out, like a little bit of
like
them,
actually Call of Duty and Call of Duty 2.
like the original Call of Duty on
Yeah.
PC. It was like 2002. It was like long time ago.
Yeah, it's very good though.
and I didn't care for it at all. Like I was like, this is
I enjoyed
garbage.
it.
And so like I played a little bit of Modern Warfare because my brother
They
had
kinda
it.
were garbage.
was like-
the first two.
Well, even like Modern Warfare, people praise this game,
Modern
and that was
Warfare
like the
is-
first one that I sat down and did like multiple missions.
Right.
And I did like 2 missions, and I was like, I never want to play Call of Duty ever again. It
Fucking,
sucks so bad. And then I played a little Black Ops 3 with some friends, and then like it was awful. Like I felt no satisfaction getting a 3.0 KD. You know, where
Mhm.
Destiny that's good, but in Black Ops,
In Destiny, that's insane.
yeah, but in yeah, exactly. So but when I'm playing Call of Duty, like I don't want to kill someone in 2 shots.
I
Like
like.
that's
I always,
bullshit.
that's what I liked though about that. Like that's what I'm saying about when we're talking about the gameplay. That's what I liked about it is that it was basically just run and fuck you, and then you fuck you, and then
I hate it. I
so-
hate it so much. I need it more. If I see someone and like, Papa, they're dead. I'm like, but where's the fight? Come on, give me a fight.
that's what the kill
Feels
streaks are about
awful.
though. It's like the fact that
But
you
you're
can
fighting.
pull
Okay,
it up.
that's like fighting a team. Like I want like a person, a physical. Like if there's an individual in front of me with a gun, I want to have a firefight. Like I've been
Well, 'cause
playing a
I
lot of
think
Overwatch this week too.
That's what
lately, and
Halo's
I'm like,
Yeah,
Overwatch
or
knows how to
Destiny.
do firefights, and Destiny does the same thing. Like you
Yeah.
can do firefights. Like, but Call of Duty it's just
That's
don't
actually
shoot.
that's why I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier. And I was like, aside from Halo, because Halo has the gunplay. Well, at least it did. Halo 5 kind of.
I didn't play Halo 5, so I can't speak for that. But yeah, Reach.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it's like it has that. Like, that's what I love about Halo is the gunplay.
Mhm.
So.
I like being able to strategize in the middle of real time first person shooter combat. It's pretty cool.
Joe, this was your number 5. What was your
We just kinda
de facto?
took
We
over
stole
for
it
that.
from you.
What's that?
What are your sense on why Black Ops was your favorite? Because we stole it from you.
It's because it's the only one I played.
Oh.
That's why. Yeah, I didn't play any other ones.
Where did it take place? Was
and you
that
just know you
Vietnam?
liked it.
yeah.
Black
People,
Ops 1
Yeah,
was
it's
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
okay, see, I might like that because I like the Vietnam setting.
Yeah, that
It's
was
But
the
only
same
the
game.
setting.
and
It's the same game.
It fucking
The
did
same
all
game.
the. It has all that like John Fogerty music and shit going on
Sweet,
the whole
like
time
Apocalypse Now. No,
Yeah.
Spec Ops: The Line is Apocalypse
It's
Now.
too. Like fucking Full Metal Jacket. You know?
I love Full Metal Jacket. Oh my god,
It's
it's
a
one
good
of my
movie.
favorite movies.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
So, it makes it so fun because you're just going through all this shit.
Yeah, see the environment and the setting. That's why like Assassin's Creed 3 was the only one I really enjoyed. It's
Mhm.
because I like the Revolutionary War.
Hmm.
So it's like if the
Ah.
time setting or like time period is cool, then it makes it cool.
That's funny because that's where I fell off on the series.
That was
I
that
was
was
just
the
like-
one that I was like, this was okay, but I played the first one halfway and I realized I was just being scammed. Like I was doing the same thing over and over. It's
Uh-huh.
bullshit. Skipped over the second 3, and then tried number 3. I'm like, this one's cool. I can put up with it because it's the Revolutionary War. Because I like that.
Nice. I didn't play that one. And I should have because his name's Connor.
It is Connor.
Yeah.
And it's like
I think it's even spelled your
It's-
way.
is it-
CONNER.
ER?
Yeah.
It is ER.
I think it is.
Because he's
maybe.
French, isn't he?
Well,
No.
Is he? No.
English because his
yeah.
dad came over from Britain land.
I don't think they would name him that if he were French.
No, I mean just because they would.
Wait, why would he
whenever
be
they-
French? It's the Revolutionary War.
Well, because there are French people in there. And the French.
But
fucking
it's in
helped- Yeah, the
America.
French helped out with the Revolutionary War.
It was the British, the redcoats.
Yeah, the French helped.
Okay,
America.
well, this was just
America.
the redcoats. Like
No,
This
no, no. They helped America.
I know, but
It's-
the plot
it's-
of the game is you play
I
as a
didn't play it,
redcoat. Okay, well, you play as a redcoat, and he sleeps with a Native American, and now you got this half British, half Native American boy fucking up Americans.
I remember.
It's awesome.
I remember someone telling me one of the plots in that where it was like there was a French guy trying to help the natives, and then they were like, "No, you're gonna fucking betray us," and he kills him. It was like he actually probably could have helped you.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of things. Well, you probably could have done something. Anyway, my number 5. This whole list was really hard, but I'm just gonna go with Mass Effect 2.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's hard putting it down that low. It's just the other 4 are that much better.
Right?
But
That's
'Cause
yeah.
this is like really our generation. This is where we
played a fuck ton of the
These are
360.
where we had sentient thoughts and we were,
and
It's when I
yeah,
got
we
really into
developed-
gaming.
We developed our tastes.
and then instead
Yeah.
of hanging out with girls, we played games.
I mean, well, okay, I came to the 360 a little
Some
late.
things never change.
Like that's my life now. But when the 360 came out, I got it in 2006, like right, sort of when it came out, and then played for like 2 years or so, and then I got into the whole girl thing, and then back to the 360 towards the end of its life, and then I had to catch up. But Mass Effect 2, like that whole trilogy, I played for the first time, and I played for the first time after the third one came out. So I got all 3 and played them all within. Shit, it had to be like 2 or 3 weeks.
Damn.
It was
Fucking,
incredible.
Your
It's
buddy
beautiful.
Necro G. COD wouldn't have even made my top 20.
Ha!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, Mass Effect 2 was something special. Like the first one was awesome. Did not expect what I got out of it. After I beat it, I was like, okay, I have the second one, just pop it in.
Yo,
That-
but no Mako.
yeah, I don't give a shit. Like, dude, Mass Effect 2 just was ridiculous. Trying to go back to the Mass Effect 1 after experiencing 2 and
See,
3
I haven't gone
is
back to
unbelievable.
1, but I have the most liking for 1.
Yeah, if you try play it now, like the gameplay
Uh,
is so much more difficult
my
because it's slow
girlfriend,
and sluggish
it's-
and
It's
floaty.
like one of her favorite games of all time, if not. Like, it's always tosses between that and Elder Scrolls, like, for what's her
Fair,
favorite.
yeah.
But, she has played through the trilogy multiple times, and she still says she likes 1 the most.
I mean, the story is awesome.
the
'cause-
story is the reason why, though. Is like the
It's
music, 'cause
beautiful.
the best storytelling of them, arguably. Because
Well,
two, like, it wasn't bad, but it was a little bit more like, hey, do this for me. Okay, I'll do that for you. And
the
then
way I look at the trilogy is why I love it so much is because it's the only thing that I've ever experienced that is a trilogy, separate
that
individual
you can keep
games.
playing.
Yeah, that like
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've been told that you can play 2 or 3 without playing the previous versions.
Yes, and it
Because
actually
I didn't know you could.
you can do that, and it's not recommended.
I think they should have like made that completely not available. Said like you have to play the first game. to play.
Jeez.
No, because that's a story. Like the story is all one thing.
Right.
It's like at the end of the first game, you don't have just a bad guy. It's like the end of the story introduces the bad guy throughout the rest of the
Right.
series. Like that's incredible. It's
Yeah.
kind of like in Star Wars how it
although
shows
to
Emperor.
be fair, like the whole story behind Mass Effect 2 was like forced in the opening sequence of Mass Effect 2 because they were like,
Well, but that's okay. So the way I also
that's what I'm saying. Like the story, like as far as like everything's concerned, it's like they took it and they're like, we're just gonna kill Shepard real quick.
But I
And-
think it makes sense because at least at this point, it's an ability for you to respec. You know, you can kind of go, okay, I played the first game without any knowing of how this is going to work, so it's nice to give you that little chance to
I love
redo
that
it.
game. It's the only reason it's not gonna be on this list. I played it on PS3.
Okay, that's fair.
I love the Mass Effect series. So.
Yeah, because number 2, because the story, like it's all one story. You got the bad guy at the the climax of the first game is the end of 3. Like that is really cool that it
Mhm.
just carries over and it's seamless. But so like 1 is the introduction. It's kind of like I don't even want to say origin story because it's all the same character.
Yeah.
But it's like the beginning chapter, like
You-
chapter
you
1.
get to go through a person's life after they've established themselves. So it's like you don't have to deal
Yeah.
with the origin bullshit. You're just living their life as a captain. Basically.
Exactly. So the
Yeah.
story is just like here's chapter 1, and then you play Mass Effect 2, and here's chapters 2 through like 10. And then 3 is like here's the last couple chapters. So 2 is like the main part of the story that is also 1 and 3. But I feel like 2 had the most I had the
And
most
they
fun
upped
with.
the combat a lot. Like whereas 1, the combat was a little.
That's what I mean by like try going back and playing it again.
Yeah, it's like the
'cause it's
combat
not-
in 2.
yeah.
And then in 3, they like streamlined it a little too much in my opinion.
Yeah, it
on
was a
3.
little too simplified. In 3, I think they focused more on just like making it kill hordes
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
opposed to strategize. Where 2, it's like you could actually you'd have to sit there behind cover, hold the bumpers and tell your guys what to do and do these combos to actually make something happen.
I think
a
that was
byproduct.
also
Really cool.
I think that was also to help spur the multiplayer mode.
I never
Oh, yeah.
tried. I didn't want to
Ah.
do multiplayer because that's such a story-based game. Like
Uh-huh.
that is the pinnacle of single-player experiences, Mass Effect, because
The-
everything you do changes the story.
The multiplayer actually did.
Well, even the
tie in.
multiplayer changed the story.
Yeah. it
Oh,
ties
see,
in.
that's why I want to do it. I don't.
It ties in though. It's
How do you
it's-
control?
Because
You
you're not
can't.
you're not playing Shepard in them. You're playing people who are on missions, essentially doing stuff for the Resistance.
I think what I
and,
didn't like about the idea of multiplayer is that when I'm playing Mass Effect, is I'm controlling my other people and
Mm-hmm.
myself last. Like
Mm,
I'm there
you
to
prefer
make
that
sure,
gameplay.
yeah, to
Make
make
sure
sure
they
that
do it.
everything's happening.
Yeah.
I'm like the puppeteer.
That's kind of what this
So-
is, though, because you're controlling like people that are supposed to be ground troops, and
But
Oh.
only
You're-
one.
yeah, you're one of the many. Like your other teammates are.
But
those
that's what I
people.
mean. You're not controlling the teammates.
Right.
Like, you don't have a
Your
squad.
teammates,
Those are your-
it's-
those are
it's
other-
you and
you-
four.
Exactly.
You and 3 other.
So it just
dudes.
becomes a normal third-person
So
shooter.
It's
Yeah.
it's you
Yeah.
guys, and you're supposed to like collect resources, defeat. Yeah.
I think that's
stuff.
the idea I didn't like because I mean the only thing that separates Mass Effect from Gears essentially is the being able to control your people because even Gears they're pretty independent.
Mhm.
You must love Dragon Age because you
I do like
legitimately
Dragon Age.
control your guys.
Yeah, I do like Dragon Age. It's a very unique game,
Mhm.
especially because it comes from the same people.
Yep.
And being like the same time, you'd think it would be the same, but it's not. Especially I think Origins was the one that was almost top down for like combat. There was
Kinda.
one of
They-
them that
the,
was
the camera
tilted.
zoomed the fuck out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Bernard, do you have a number 5, or do you even have a list this week?
course, I got a list.
Cool. I didn't know if Andrew filled you in or not because sometimes
No,
he's
you didn't, but I'm good like that. So
good shit.
Paradise City?
Burnout,
Paradise.
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 Okay.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is either going to be Burnout or Rock Band.
No, it's a good one though. I agree. Burnout's extremely
Burnout.
good.
I think this is the best thing Burnout could do is make it an open world driving game where you drive everywhere and get to crash shit and just enjoy the whole city and find new things. If there's ever a game with infinite replayability, this is it.
It's
That game
really
was absurd.
fucking fun though. Did you ever play Burnout, Joe?
I played 3 on PS2. I think the last one I played. I think it was 3 or 2. No, it was 3.
Yeah. Paradise is
I never played Paradise. though.
Paradise is open world though.
Paradise is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just an island.
And then when you have the if you go internet and you start playing people on internet and have the 8-player races with everybody else, it's one of the best things to do. I thought it was a beautiful game. It was one of the reasons why I bought a 360, and I still play it to this day because it's backwards compatible with the one.
Did you play Forza Horizon?
I don't give a shit about building cars.
Forza. You didn't
Forza
have to build cars.
Horizon is the exotic car racing.
Oh,
game.
that's the one? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like rally and stuff.
I had Forza
Oh.
3, and I had the 4
Horizon
speed
3
back.
is exotic.
I had the 4 speed bag
Horizon
steering
3?
wheel, but that lasted for like 2 days for me. But I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't care about being fancy. I don't care about being a real good racer. I want to make shit blow up and jump over crazy buildings.
Fair,
Horizon,
okay, that's fair.
Horizon's your game then to
Okay.
fuck
Well,
around with. It's
sorta.
not so much blowing up, but
It's like you do cool stunts and shit. Like you
You-
go off hills and like
yeah. You can
yeah.
drive through a farmland and destroy corn and fences and,
Okay.
like race a plane, shit like
it's
that.
like if you were the
And it
richest
looks
person in the world and you were a rally
stunning.
car driver.
yeah.
Like Forza Motorsport 7 looks insane.
Oh yeah.
It's just straight up real life. It's unbelievable, especially on 4K television. Oh my god.
Xbox One X enhanced.
They have it. Yeah, there's a guy that like our Microsoft rep comes into our GameStop, and we have the new 4K television with
Oh, cool.
yeah, and he'll set up his Xbox One X and just put on like Cuphead or Forza for people to play, and it's unbelievable.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got about 6 minutes till break,
Shit.
but
Go to your number 4
my
quick.
number 4, yeah. I don't think it'll be discussed a lot because I don't think many of you played it. It's Alan Wake.
Yeah, I know of it. I know a lot about it.
And
It's interesting.
This was the most unexpectedly amazing game I've played.
It was a free game with gold at some point.
Yeah, it was. I think I got it from that. I'm not sure if it was that or I ended up buying it one. Or no, it came with my Xbox when I bought my new one because it
yeah,
was
that was
like
the thing too,
I
it
had a
got bundled.
360.
Yeah.
My house burned down. Got a PS3 because I was like, oh, there's a library that I haven't played, and I'll go ahead and be playing new games. And then I was like, Halo Reach was coming out. I was like, I need an Xbox again. And then I got the fucking Alan Wake bundle. And I didn't play it at first. And then one day, my buddy Nate and I were like, let's go out and play this. We never played it. And we just sat through the whole thing. Played it all like one way through. And it's actually pretty long.
Yeah, I've heard it was just nothing but praise for it.
Yeah,
Like,
and we
it's
were
re-
like, wow, this was really good. And there wasn't a second one. There was the American Horror Story, which is like a little short, like
Wait,
three.
well,
well, Quantum
just
Break.
horror. American
Oh,
horror.
American Horror, yeah.
Well, Quantum
But
Break was kind of the successor to
It's
that.
the spiritual success.
It's the
yeah.
same people, right?
But it's like the story. Like
is
the,
it?
it leaves on a cliffhanger.
Oh, that
It's,
sucks.
it's like Half-Life 2 all over again, and then they've like
sucks.
they basically
Don't
dissolved
compare it
everything
to
about
that.
it, and you're just like, oh no, they're never gonna do any more Alan Wake, and it's just over. And
You know, I think it's every fan of Half-Life 2's fault. There will never be a Half-Life 2.
oh yeah,
Because he was all about it until people
then-
started
and then-
badgering it and became a meme,
Yeah.
and now they're not doing it
and
ever.
now he just doesn't even
It's
answer.
like,
your
no, it's the
questions, yeah.
people's fault. We're never
But,
getting Half-Life.
Yeah, Alan Wake. It's a narrative-driven third-person shooter, if you want to call it a shooter. It's more.
It's like Evil Within.
Yeah, it's very much like that, and.
Oh, isn't there like a mechanic with your flashlight?
Yeah, so the way it works is that enemies are invincible unless they have light pulled onto them.
That's cool.
And you have to either shine your light, which runs out of batteries, or use environmental attacks and stuff. And then that enables them to be shot if you don't kill them in time to become invincible again. And you just get overrun. And
That's an
it's
awesome
so
mechanic.
interesting. There's tons of collectibles like thermoses and stuff. And the story, it's like, you just keep going, wait, what? Holy shit, wait, hold on a second. And then you're like, at the very end, you're like, okay, it's all going to make sense now. No, it doesn't.
It
What the
doesn't
fuck
make
happened?
sense.
Yeah,
That's one thing I heard about it is people didn't like it because of that.
like, we'll see, the fucking last lines are, it's not a lake, it's an ocean. And then
Yeah.
that's it.
Some people don't like not having things
Closure.
explained to them.
Well, see, there's a lot that you can think about, and that's one thing I really like about it. Is like it's
Open-endedness.
it gives you a lot of thought provocation.
That's a dividing factor.
Yeah.
You know, it is. I've noticed that a lot. It's either people love ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
yeah.
Yeah, or they hate it.
Right.
And I think that just tells you the kind of person they are. You know, like if they love it, it means it's like they have an active imagination. They can accept that, you know, this is the story that the director wanted to tell.
And
Like
if
this
they-
was the purpose of the game. Like it was just, this was the story that was supposed to be told. And everything else is open to interpretation. People that hate it are like uncreative. Like, oh, I can't stand it. I need closure. It's going to stress me out. Like,
That's not. It's kind of unfair to call them uncreative.
I
but-
don't want to say like, I know, I'm like trying to think of a word. and I
something
can't.
that's not
But-
offensive.
Yeah, it's like,
You don't want to.
you need to accept that this is the point
Uh-huh.
and just enjoy that,
Mhm.
you know, and not be pissed off at someone else's objective.
Yeah, and it's definitely one that I'd recommend that everyone give a shot because it like originally I was like, I thought it was really weird because like in the opening chapter he's like Stephen King once said, and I was like, why are you quoting Stephen King right now? and then I was like, that's weird. And then it just got like really good, and I was like, this is like if you read a lot of books too, there's a lot of references to old literature and whatnot. And it's like
Oh,
it's one of those things where it's just a really good, well told story, and it's told in chapters like a television show kind of. It's got like
do they do it well? Not like Alone in the Dark?
it does it well. It does it to a point where it's like it makes sense because it transitions you to the next phase, and it kind of ties in with day and night because during the day cycles there is no combat. It's all collection and narrative, and you actually have interaction with the environment and stuff like that. And then it's basically the night happens. That's that episode, and then it goes on to the next.
Interesting.
So we've got like 2 minutes before break happens.
You want to just go to number 4 when we
Ju-
get back, or
Yeah, we'll continue our number 4s when we get back.
Breaks at 55.
Yeah, at 55.
So we could talk a little bit about ambiguity again, because like that seems like an interesting topic, or maybe we should save
It
it for
is
another
very-
day so we can have a real, genuine discussion about it.
That's true.
Because it takes some time to define exactly how people feel about it.
The
It's like either-
best, my
yeah.
favorite kind of ambiguity is when it's a kind of like a prequel with a
Mhm.
very large gap.
Right.
You know,
So we'll either
it's like my
be
favorite one.
we're gonna definitely go over the rest of our lists, but possibly talk about this in the second half. So
I don't
That's
know
a
if we
good
have
one.
time. Look how long it took us to get through 5.
yeah,
yeah, well, we did start
Well,
late.
yeah.
so we'll see.
That was half an hour.
Right.
It took us half an hour to get through our number 5s.
We'll get through it.
We'll have
We'll
to
do
get more
it.
concise.
So yeah,
We'll condense.
people on YouTube are
Yeah.
still going to be hearing us probably during the break, or we'll just play some music. I don't
Mhm.
know. We'll do something. We usually close the mics during that, but if we come back early, you'll hear it.
Turn them back on.
For anyone on the app, we'll see you after break. So
Oh, was that now?
yeah, I mean it's like probably a few seconds. I have no idea, but we're chilling here. It's a top 5. We didn't get to play. We were gonna do a live stream of like a let's play, basically.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah,
Andrew's out
Playing
for the
some
day.
Cuphead.
Andrew is out. Yeah, so we'll do that probably next week.
What are we gonna play?
I don't know. He was supposed to have this all planned out.
Ah,
Yeah,
what a smart
this was
man.
Andrew's idea. But he's not here, so.
Andrew just ditched out on it.
It's
All right.
funny hearing this music without the
Oh, the fucking.
of the gun.
Yeah, so we're on break now.
All right. feels so good. Like, I want to play these games again. I mean, I have 3 of them on my PS4. No, 2 of them on my PS4. Mass Effect music.
You got me now? Here we go.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Are we back?
Back from the break.
Yeah, we're back.
Yes,
Oh,
we
we
are. Yeah, I had to. That's why I had the Soul Calibur music running.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're on,
Right.
and that's second half kind of gaming show. Daryl will be back in a second. He's smoking. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
He said he had to go to the bathroom.
Well, we are right in the meat of our top 5 list.
Miguel, go with your number 4.
Go for it. Let's just kick it right off.
Okay,
Your
jeez.
number 4.
Let's get this
Fucking
done.
Get Soul Calibur out of here, man.
Is that your number 4?
No.
Right. Then say your number 4 and he'll put on the music for it.
Yeah, say your
Okay.
number 4.
My number 4 is Bioshock.
Yeah,
Jesus
buddy.
Christ. Yeah, I don't know. Like as far as like original stories go, I feel like it was the strongest
Fucking
one.
one of the best of all time.
The strongest one on the 360, like period, probably.
God
Gears of War was pretty good and all, but like Bioshock was just a good ass story. Like throughout the whole trilogy. I even like 2.
I
People
have
don't
it.
like 2.
No, I have a
love 2.
tattoo
Oh,
for
yeah.
Bioshock. Like Bioshock is one of my favorite franchises of all
Right? Do
time.
you have the chain?
No, I don't get the chains.
I'm thinking of getting
I have
that, but
a-
everybody has
I
that.
know
Yeah.
because I'm not Jack, but I have an old school like scuba helmet.
Can
in
they
the
get the
American
fucking
traditional.
normie tattoo that all the assholes got?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
right.
More and more.
That's
into
what I'm
Fine.
talking about. It's like if there's any tattoo I want, it's probably that
No,
one.
you brought up number 2. Number 2 has the best gameplay because when it's remastered on PS4, that got the best treatment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has, like,
probably
6
'cause, yeah, it was
yeah.
glitchy as fuck.
60 FPS, like high res textures. It's incredible. And having the dual weaponry, you have a drill in one hand that has ice and lightning and whatever. Anyway.
Real quick, Daryl, thanks for bringing the Guinness. This is like the only beer I've enjoyed.
Oh,
no worries.
They're right next to
Yeah,
you.
they're right there.
I
Good to
fucking-
go.
I fucking hate beer, but Guinness is bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rarely drink Guinness anymore. I got it because it was cheap. It was like $11. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Random interruption. My mic sounds low.
your
yeah.
mic is low.
Yeah.
I turned you down.
so.
I turned you down like real suddenly because you were loud as fuck
Oh,
when you
yeah.
first came in.
I was specifically loud because we were opening the show. But,
He's pulling double duty now, so you got to run the boards in.
How's that?
Yeah.
that's probably I don't know.
That's what you
Like,
sound now.
sounds ish all right.
Ish, all right.
So we moving on. We going number 4s right now?
Number 4,
or-
yeah. Bioshock.
Everybody loved Bioshock.
Bioshock.
You know why?
It's fucking amazing.
good.
It's
the music, the story, the gameplay. God damn, Bioshock.
Do you need a real bottle opener?
Here, let me.
I'm doing it.
I
But
got it.
Bioshock. Just
There
worry
you
about
go.
Okay, you
Bioshock.
got it. You got it. You got it.
It's like Bioshock.
Got me so fucking excited. I can't help it.
Bioshock.
You know,
it's my
Fix your
only
mic.
cosplay.
Dude, fix your
This
mic.
mic's all
I'll
fucking
fix it when I'm good and ready. Worry about Bioshock. Don't worry about me.
For those listening on the app, his mic is currently in his crotch.
It's not my crotch unless it's in my stomach, which it's not.
Daryl, I forgot to fucking because you're my brother and like you don't need an introduction from me, but I forgot to let you introduce yourself and tell the people who the fuck you are.
Oh, I mean, I've assumed everybody knew, not because I'm so fucking famous. No.
Yeah.
My name is Dimesec Rick Styles. I used to be a professional wrestler. I use the term professional loosely. Pretty much, I used to just hurt myself for little to no money. Also,
All it takes.
the one of the reasons I came in today for a plug. I recently got back with my old rap group, Sinister X. I used to make music from 1999 till about 05, and then I gave it up completely for wrestling because music isn't violent. You don't get to stab people in the face with light bulbs.
You can.
And
It's
you
called
can. You
danger
can.
music is a
Yeah,
genre.
like fucking Gigi Allen type shit. No, but I kind of fell out. But then we're doing a reunion this summer. My good friend of mine just got out of prison, who's producing a lot of our stuff, and he's keeping busy. So we're doing a lot more stuff, and we're gonna re-release the only album we ever did at Sinister X was Brain Dead Killers, and we made like 30 copies of it. And
Only
that's-
30?
Yeah, and I wish Necro G. I wanted to bring Necro G in today. He was actually commenting on the YouTube.
Yeah, he's
But-
saying he was all by myself.
Yeah, it was the history of Sinister X was just all drama. We kicked Jerry out of the band the day the album came out.
Because
It
he
was
a Jerry.
it was beef between him and the other guy in the band, and we ended up taking the whole album and just cutting him out of it, and
Damn.
redid and we redid the album
That's some
without him.
Metallica shit.
and there was diss songs on it too. And I really, I participated, but I didn't like it because it wasn't the original album that we did. But that was the one that we put out the most copies of, and everyone knew. So me and Jerry said it's been cool. So we're gonna re-release Brain Dead Killers and have a bunch of new content to go with it, just as an EP. I don't plan to jump all the way back into music. I don't really have the time for it, but it's gonna be fun to get back doing shows and stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we got to remaster though. It's bad. It's really old school, really bad. So we're really gonna have to freaking polish it up. But of course, I also used to work at Chaotic Radio. Dante Mania was used to be a wrestling show until I showed up. Then it just became a talk show with wrestlers about the crazy shit that goes on in the business. And we did that 2012 to 2013. And then my producer had a falling out with the previous owner. So I just, I'm not going to.
Just dipped out.
Yeah, like I was there for Mike. So once Mike was gone, I had no reason to come back here until you started working here.
Yeah.
But
so now we have two people who are involved with the station. So it's like if Andrew, for whatever reason, falls out, I'm still here. And we make jokes because it's like I'm literally the only one who's been here every episode.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was like he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you want to be on the show?" I'm like, "Sure." And then it ended up being like, "Oh, I'm
The
here."
Connor show.
But yeah, Dante Mania
Friends.
used to be wild once we went prime time, because we used to be Thursdays at like 3, and then we went Thursdays to this slot. We were Thursdays, we were Thursdays at 8, and then eventually Thursdays at 11. But our show was fucking wild for a while, dude. Like the last episode we did, I ended up caning my friend Nick for throwing up in my car. And that was the last. It just so happened to be the first day of Black History Month. And the one of the black guys on the show had to get caned for some. We didn't even think about the racial undertones of it, but then we were off the next. Like we might quit that week, so like we went out like, oh, it was so fucking controversial. They just fired us,
Was that?
But that didn't happen.
Was that fucking?
We just quit.
The fucking puking in your car. Wait, was that the time we were all hanging out?
No, that was at the Far Side show. We had got to go VIP at the Far Side because we had guests on the what was the name? The Cloudmakers.
Oh, okay.
So they were opening up for Far Side. So we went as guests, from the radio station at the VIP section up in the balcony, and Nick. It's my fault though. I got him drunk.
I was gonna say he nearly puked in your car at the time we were hanging out.
He nearly
too.
pukes all the time.
Well, because he was like, I gotta fucking puke, man, and you pulled over and he just fucking opened the door and yacked out the side of it.
He was a little more mindful of it. He wasn't like Bones, who just fucking puke wherever and stare you in the eyes while he's throwing up in your car and you're in your living room. But yeah, we were just searching for content that week.
Nice.
Speaking of content, Daryl, what's your
Number 4, speaking of content of bullshit, let's get back to fucking games. All right, so with my list, I only had a 360 from 09 to 2011. Then I got a PS3. I had flashed the 360, which was cool about it. It was easy to flash and just burn games. But number 4 for me, Soul Calibur 4. The first, I'm a huge fucking arcade fighter fan. That's pretty much always been my shit. And Soul Calibur 4 was the first one to go online and battle strangers, because I used to hustle at the old Azusa arcade on Soul Calibur. We have $5 games, you know what I mean? Then you get, fights would go down and shit like that. But, other than your boys, you never really get to play with strangers unless you're gambling. Right. But then once we got the online, that's what did it for me. And then, of course, Yoda's on it. And, I have 5. I didn't play 5 for 360. I had it for PS3. But I liked 4 a lot better than 5.
Yeah, I didn't play 5 because I just heard and I saw it also. They didn't really add mechanics to it.
It's 4 with looks different.
Yeah, it's 4 with characters that are new, and it was like they didn't with 4 they added the guard break system and all that other cool shit, and then the character customization was in 3, but they just fleshed it out more in 4, and so it became a point where it's like 5 was just a repeat. But I'm really excited for 6. That's coming out.
Oh, it is? I was about to say, when's the next one coming out?
Yeah, it just got announced.
And I do think it's funny they're throwing Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 into Tekken, and not Soul Calibur. And I'm like, he uses a sword,
right?
And it's made by the same people.
Yeah,
come on.
What if they just rehash him?
I mean, I hope so, but I don't think they will.
Yeah,
Yoshimitsu's always been in Tekken as well.
But he's always been in Tekken.
Yeah.
But this is like a new character.
The guest character,
Yeah, so it's like
no, yeah, but like as far as sword characters go, so it's like it's not like they're afraid or not, they're not going to be able to make
It's
it
not the
work.
only one. Yeah.
Yeah, but they could have picked someone else that would use their fists, or just wait until Soul Calibur 6 and throw Noctis in that.
I've always fucking hated Yoshimitsu in Soul Calibur. I loved him in Tekken. He
Yeah,
was
it's
cool in
fun in
Tekken. But I have always hated him in Soul Calibur. I don't know.
He's a fucking dick in Soul
Yeah,
Calibur.
he's a piece of shit, dude.
He can regain his health and
Yeah.
fly, and like he's like, I'm gonna get away from you.
But
and
in
now I'll
Tekken, you
heal."
can bounce on your sword and do damage just by bumping into someone.
Oh, God.
And you can just do it forever.
Yeah, right.
In Tekken, I have a sword, but I'm gonna punch you with the end of the sword.
I know.
You don't even know how to
Just
use the sword, that asshole.
All right.
You're swinging it the wrong way.
It's an accessory.
do that. Oh, it's good
I think
stuff.
Soul Calibur 4, that was one of the games that it's like, yeah, I played a shit ton of Halo coming home from school and Call of Duty, but it was like Soul Calibur 4, I think I played just about as much every day I came home from school, especially with my friend Tina. We would just fucking play the shit out of that game. I used to make characters just for fun. Like, yeah, it was fun. I really, there's some characters that were probably shouldn't mention anywhere as to why I made them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a feeling.
I had Odorous Urungus. That was my online character.
These were like of the like, okay, I was one of those like teenagers on Xbox Live who made racial jokes.
Yeah, we get it.
Yep.
We get it.
There was it was
That's the part of 360 we haven't even brought up yet. The gratuitous use of the N word.
We already
like-
talked about COD.
Oh my
too.
god,
Yeah.
I hate people so much that I never use the mic.
well,
Yeah.
mine.
I don't
you
talk
know,
to
I'll just try
strangers
say
at
one of the
all.
characters here. Okay, so it was also play off of fucking Uncle Ruckus. So the deal was I made a Klansman as an enemy.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
I'm just thinking about it because it was really funny because it was like it's this big dude in a fucking white outfit with and he had Astaroth's fucking axe, you know. And but when you took his fucking hood off, he had the afro and shit. It was like on Dave Chappelle. Take
man.
your hood off. Let's yeah. It was mostly that. Like that's the whole reason I did it. And I was like,
Who else you had? You had another. Fuck. Well, I remember you had a few funny characters.
I had a lot.
Because I used to actually play you online.
Yeah, we used to play
Yeah.
all the fucking time.
That's one of the few games that we played
That we
online
played
against each
together,
other. Yeah.
we would play Soul Calibur. But yeah, I had the Dave Chappelle Klansman essentially. He had a big afro. It was really funny when you took his.
Did
hood
you have like Borat 2 or something?
Yeah, I had Borat.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
I
what
did.
you had,
I
yeah.
had Borat in the fucking
In the
bikini.
fucking bikini. Yeah.
And I made him Voldo, so he was just all
Yeah.
running around. Fucking,
Wow.
had fucking Borat on there.
Doing the whole leg.
Yeah, and he's all like,
boy.
"You would never get this." Fucking yeah. Oh man, I made so many characters in that game though. Like, I honestly like. I had 2 hard drives because they had like a limit to how many characters you could fucking have. So I had 2 fucking accounts and hard drives so that I could just be like more characters.
Oh wow.
That was my favorite bit about that. It's such a fun game. I fucking love Soul Calibur.
Look
All
how
right.
much memory it takes for one character. How the fuck do you fill up a hard drive?
Well,
with
they
characters?
limited you. They're
Oh,
like
okay.
you can only have like 20 slots.
Oh,
I think it
okay,
was.
okay.
So it's like, but with another account, I was like, I can have more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can have like 99 and 5.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, because and, you know, it still doesn't make sense. Why put a limit on it? You know?
Yeah.
I only made one character and it was Odorous because you didn't need anything after that. Odorous is fucking god, dude. Odorous will murder anybody. And he was
I'm
and he
fucking
was mid-
wearing.
and oh yeah,
I
yeah.
got the Guar shirt on tonight.
I think that's like Christmas fucking like 10 or I don't know. I gave you that shirt. I know that much.
Yeah, you did. But yeah. So
Anyway.
All right, moving on because
Moving on.
we're gonna be stuck.
Brandon.
We're gonna be stuck on
Yes.
our list all night.
My number 4 I could talk about for days.
But you won't.
but
I will
What's up,
talk
Wade?
about it tomorrow.
what's
though.
your number 4?
So this game was kind of funny. It went under the radar for me personally because it was a time when I wasn't really playing games, but I had a 360.
Right.
And I was really into this show on Sci-Fi Channel called Face Off, where they do like the
Oh,
makeup
okay.
and stuff,
Yeah.
Was
right?
that out back then?
Yeah,
That show was
absolutely. It was, yeah. Anyway, so they did this challenge for this game that was coming out that I'd never heard of, and I'm like,
oh.
interesting. And then I saw the makeup at the end, and I was like, that's interesting.
Extra interesting.
And then
I've seen that episode. I know what you're talking about.
okay, and then I actually waited because I knew there was going to be DLC, and I got the Game of the Year edition for Dishonored,
No.
and it blew me away.
Wait.
Dishonored.
Oh, okay, it was this on. Okay.
It was a Game of the Year edition for Dishonored,
All right.
and it blew me away. It plays just like BioShock.
Ah, fuck! I forgot to buy it.
That's funny.
Oh shit!
It was
yeah,
like
the sales-
it
no, I
was-
think it's still going.
No, I
It's
just
the-
checked it.
it's the
Steam,
4th.
the Steam sale's over.
Oh yeah, it's the 4th at like 10 a.m. or
Yeah,
something.
I got
Fuck.
it.
It was like $250.
Yeah,
I got it for free at for working at GameStop. The first one, but anyway, yeah, the second one I even had to go out and buy the collector's edition, so I have Corvo's mask. It's
Oh,
awesome.
Nice.
But plays just like BioShock. I don't know how anybody plays that game stealthily because there's no point to being stealthy.
I
at all.
watched a Let's Play
Dude,
of some
looked like
guy
a
playing.
badass.
It's
like,
not fun. No, you have teleport. You can.
He did it so
literally-
fast
I mean-
and smooth though. It looked really cool. And
I mean, technically, the stealth part of it that I do is just blinking behind someone, murdering them, and bouncing back. But like, there's one achievement. The only achievement in the game I did not ever get is finishing the entire game without killing or killing less than 5 people. That's including your main targets. And that seemed really stupid to me because the whole point is revenge solves everything. And revenge for me, you know, when someone murders my wife, is to kill them.
that makes sense.
So I killed them a lot, and it's just super fun. Those superpowers are a blast. The story is awesome. The DLCs are fantastic. Number 2 just doubled down on it by adding a couple extra elements that I wish stuck around for more than just one mission.
You have it on disc. I want to borrow it.
PS4, I do. I have the Steelbook Collector's Edition. It's beautiful.
Fucking I've got an Xbox One.
Sucks. But yeah, Dishonored's incredible. If anyone hasn't played it, I highly recommend giving that a go. So many different ways to approach every scenario. It's so unique, so fun. I still think the first might be better than the second, and that's really hard to say because I love the second so much. Because I like playing as Emily. But
Right.
yeah, that's my number 4.
Nice. Well, my number 3 is Soul Calibur 4, so we don't really need to talk about it more. we spoke the shit about it.
Been there, done that.
Fucking love it. Yeah, Soul Calibur 4 is the fucking shit, man.
Good ass game.
They're number 3. So we'll just go right on to number 3 for you, Miguel.
All right, my number 3 is Halo motherfucking Reach.
Yeah, buddy.
In my opinion, Halo Reach is the best Halo game.
Absolutely.
No-
Hands down.
It was the peak of Bungie's like hand in it, and it was pretty much perfect.
It was.
The only
really
improvements that have
fucking
been
good.
made on the series have been Forge mode, and that's just because it's Forge mode. If
See,
you could just
Forge
add-
mode that came out before Reach, it was
No.
on 3.
I know. I'm saying the
These-
only improvement
The
since
only
Halo
improvement
Reach
on Halo.
that 343 has made on Forge and Halo in general is how much they've been enhancing Forge mode.
Okay, so they've enhanced Forge.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
They
all,
didn't do Forge.
no, that's
know,
all he's
I know,
saying.
that's not what I'm
He's
saying.
just saying that that's the only enhancement that they've
I said
done
the
to
only
the game.
improvements that have been made on Halo since have been on Forge
I
mode.
thought you meant like that was the
Oh, no.
enhancement.
No, fucking Halo Reach. Halo Reach was an improvement in all manner.
Everything.
The fact that Halo Reach had it so that when you're in Forge mode and you could actually place things and not have to do the whole save menu glitch thing like in 3
Yeah,
made it all the fucking worth it.
they enhanced their Forge mode. Like Forge mode's the only thing that's steadily been enhanced throughout Halo's history. Well, since
And
3.
honestly,
I didn't play too much with Forge because I didn't really play online with
love
people
Forge.
because there was no point. It was like, cool, I can build a map, but what am I going to do with it?
I used to make mongoose
play
races.
this.
Yeah, you make maps that are fun games. Like you can make a Jenga tower where you have people like with grav lift.
That's what I
you have
mean,
to
but you
fire
have to play
things
with
up.
people.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't have friends.
Nah.
Mongoose races.
My friends don't play video games.
Yeah, that's your problem.
Mongoose races.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I would have like fucking 8 people in a Forge world just making like little mini games and shit, and like trying to figure out how to like make like doorways and shit, like mechanical doors. Like, oh yeah, it spawns a warthog right here, and it flips another thing, and that's a door.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how Fallout 4 works, trying to build a settlement.
Yeah,
To make something
this
work.
one, this like Halo Reach is like in the rest of my top 3. I've probably put over 500 hours into each.
Damn.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just the best Halo game. There's nothing else like
I
it.
think
The story is perfect.
That's like I said, Halo Reach. Like I bought my Xbox again before Reach came out. Like so, I had it ready. I actually, I didn't have the Xbox yet. I bought Reach and I had it on disc, but I didn't have an Xbox yet. And I
That's
was like,
before you knew how good it was, too.
yeah.
The story is not perfect, Brandon.
What do you mean?
It's not perfect.
What's wrong with it?
Cat's death, Carter's death, both of those fucking suck.
You don't like people dying?
no,
No,
just
I
how they
love-
happened.
I love when
How they
characters
happened
die.
was like, what the fuck happened,
I
man?
love it when characters die.
Me too.
Cat and Carter's deaths were shitty.
I
though.
don't
She
remember
died.
those.
She
Cat's
died
death
by a
is because
fucking
her shields
carbine.
were down and one jackal with a not even a jackal. What are the
Yeah, it was a
the ones
jackal
in
with a
that one called?
carbine.
But it's not actually a jackal.
Jackal.
He has
It's
a
a
needle-
jackal.
Jackal. It's Jackal.
The jackal.
Yeah, but anyway, with a needle rifle, one shot to the head and she's down.
It was the carbine.
No, it was the needle rifle.
No, it's green.
It was the needle rifle.
It was green.
It's fucking. I'm gonna
Look it up. I promise you.
Was it pink?
Bitch,
or
I'll
was
fight
it
you.
green?
I will fight
I'll
you.
firefight you. Either way.
No, because he sniped her with
Yes.
it. Yeah.
It wasn't the jackal.
Why
it was
would
the
they
other
snipe
one.
with the needler?
needler.
Those things like
Needle rifle.
oh,
Not the needler, the needle rifle
Those are
from
head-
Halo Reach.
it's getting
No, because those
so
are headshots,
irritated.
but-
Yes, it was a headshot. She gets shot with a fucking giant pink needle through the goddamn head.
Wow.
Yeah.
Either way,
I remember this shit vividly.
how does that not make sense though? Shields
Huh?
are down.
No. It's just it was as shitty as death. Like all of
I
a
mean,
sudden,
no, it's a shitty situation.
No, all of a sudden, like these highly trained Spartans, they're the best fucking Spartan 3 crew, and they don't notice this jackal. Like, and they have radars. They're obviously always able to detect enemies, and like, but they're just completely shit on by this one jackal cat, a Spartan 3, a fucking like the top.
No, I get it. I just think that
You know, I don't actually get why
people-
their shields were down because they're running. She had her fucking helmet on and everything. They're like fully running and
there was
everything.
like some sort of EMP or something, I think, right?
EMP could disrupt the radar too.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they-
true. Huh? The radars
yeah,
are
they
down.
went through from
But it's
some
like
fucking-
they just dropped all caution all of a sudden for this
I mean,
moment.
I think-
I feel like the vulnerability was a little exaggerated.
It
so
makes
much
it
that-
more human and relatable though when you
That's-
have that element.
That is true, but that's why George's death is so great. Is because it's like it's a not a
person.
not a thing of passion, but you know he's like.
It
this
is,
is
it's
who we
also
are.
weird, yeah,
I
because
get
it's like
ya.
it's a full-on Covenant dropship that they were like the Jackal was in too. Like it's not even that he was subtly hanging in the rafters.
Yeah, right.
It's like why didn't they fucking hear any of this
I'm
shit?
trying to remember the name. They're not jackal. They're the same species, but they're like a different one. They're
I keep wanting to say Vandals because that's what they are in
Yeah.
Destiny.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like, it's not what it is. Even though they're essentially the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
dregs are grunts.
Yeah, it is that thing.
Vandals
I
are
thought
jackals.
originally because I thought you said needler, and I was like, it wasn't a needler, but yeah, you're right. It's the
No, I
fucking
made sure to emphasize it was
it's
a needle rifle.
Yeah, it is that
Oh.
rifle.
And fucking I keep wanting to say Kurt. That's another Spartan. Not Kurt, the leader of Noble Squad.
No, is it, oh no, I was like, he's not noble.
I said his name
But
earlier.
either way, but
Fucking
yeah,
shit.
Halo Reach was fucking like because Halo 3 was amazing, and
O'Neill's death was awesome.
I played so much of Halo 3, and then it was like that, like the story and everything in Halo 3 makes it to where it's just amazing. This like end cap to everything, where it's like okay,
It should have just
we
stayed there.
finished the fight. But that's the thing is like Halo
Should've
Reach came up and it was like this is actually really fucking amazing, like multiplayer wise and everything. They just took it and they were like, yeah, there's a reason for us to keep making this game, but it was supposed to be the end at Reach, and it was like okay, and it,
Well, it was their last.
Well, that's what I mean.
Right.
Is like 3 should have been the end of the story.
Right.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I
that
mean,
bothers
technically
me.
was because oh, you're saying like with
No,
4 or 5.
four and
There's
five.
4
Yeah.
and 5.
Yeah. I agree there too. It's a little odd, like the way 4 and 5 go on with it.
I didn't want to go into a whole thing about this game. I did want to at heart. I love this game. It's my third favorite Xbox
Don't
game,
worry.
apparently.
Don't worry, we're gonna save time.
Our last two need time. So
It
let's keep
sucks.
moving.
It didn't make my list, but
Let's keep
it's
moving, Daryl.
it's up there.
Best Halo game of all time.
Best Halo.
It is.
It's fucking good. 2 is argued like really close on that. Just-
2 is awesome. The story is really long. I like
Yeah.
the long stories.
All right, now my number 3, of course. In my top 2, you guys are gonna laugh like that's so fucking lame. But my number 3, of course, was GTA 4, and the reason I say 4 is because I never played 5 on 360.
Fair.
So
Right.
you know,
I would have put 4 up there instead of 5 anyway.
but
How
yeah,
you
4
forget
was the
that
shit.
5
It was
is even
just
on it?
short. That was the only thing I didn't like about 4. It was
It was not short.
to
dude.
me it
I
was.
said the
To me
same
it
thing.
felt fucking short as hell.
It's like I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, that's I would
it-
say the same thing.
am I-
It was
it's
like, it wasn't
over?
short. Yeah, that's
Like, it's
how I
over.
felt.
Fuck.
It was like 40 fucking hours.
Dude, that 40 hours fucking flew by, dude. Yeah. I don't know how long San Andreas was, but San Andreas felt a lot freaking longer.
There was like, that's less than 2 days.
Yeah.
No, that's so funny.
That's a work week
I
right there.
literally said the same thing to Miguel. I was like, it was just so short. I was like, the fucking story just ends, and you're like, oh, that's fucking it.
But then they had Lost in the Dam too, I think, and then Ballad of Gay Tony. I never played Gay Tony, but I had it.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know why I never
You
played it.
see a
It was
man's
good.
It
penis.
was a good
You
one.
see a man's penis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
And
I'll
there's
play
a-
it then.
and
Worth
there's a-
it.
Yeah, you really sold it. Now I'm really gonna fucking get on it.
And you make Arab money.
You make that freaking oil money.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm trying to think like 40 hours for a story. is pretty good.
Right?
It didn't feel like 40 hours though,
It's-
man.
it
It
goes
felt
by
like the
so
shortest
quick. No, I mean,
GTA
like,
game I ever played. But maybe I
nowadays-
just sucked back then on the
GTA 5
PS2
is
ones.
not
I don't know.
that, GTA 5 isn't even that
Well,
long.
I'm thinking like 40
No, it's
hours
not.
does
Not
not
near.
sound like a long time at all. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. But when
Compared
you
to
put
some of
into-
the games you guys are talking about, that
Yeah.
take
No,
up your
these games that
take up
were-
your whole life.
yeah,
like,
but these games aren't just the story that we're playing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like Halo Reach, you mostly play the online. Like the
Yeah,
story is
yeah,
like
yeah.
8 hours long. Like 8 hours is like nowadays. That was a big thing when the game The Order 1855 came out.
1886.
Yeah.
86, thank you. When that game came out on PS4, it was like criticized. It was like, oh, this game would have been good if it wasn't only 8 hours long.
Yeah.
That's if you
And-
took your fucking time to collect everything.
Yeah. So it's like 40 hours is like, holy shit, that's pretty good. But then like as a game designer, I'm like, god damn, it's gotta be fucking hard to make a game that long.
If you skip
Yeah.
the cutscenes on Metal Gear Solid, it's only 3 hours. Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
No
4.
shit.
No, it's any
Wow.
Metal Gear game, dude.
Pretty much, yeah.
I've
Pretty
been
much any
playing
Metal
through
Gear.
Revengeance again on PS3, and like that game is beautiful. It's so good, and the gameplay's awesome. But goddamn, the cutscenes are
Fucking
just the worst.
Taking your time with cutscenes, you can beat Metal Gear Solid 1 in under 10
I must
hours.
really fucking suck because Metal Gear didn't feel like no goddamn 3 hours,
No,
man.
that's 3 hours of gameplay.
Yeah,
just
that's
the
what I
game-
mean. Yeah,
Metal
yeah.
Gear Solid 4.
Oh, 4. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the original.
That's
The
Guns
no,
of
no,
Patriots.
the original, but the original, I was able to beat the original with collecting shit
Uh-huh.
and watching every cutscene in under 10, or like right at 10. I think it was almost exact. It was like 10:01, and I was like, wow.
Wait, the
okay.
first one, like that's
Metal
on
Gear
PS.
Solid.
Talking
Yeah.
about PS1
Yeah, that's
or are you
PS1.
talking
That's
yeah.
good though. I mean, that's really long for a game to have a story on PS1.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, it's surprising.
I
Like,
like how this
Yeah.
became a different conversation.
Yeah, I know, right?
but fucking Grand Theft Auto 4 is the shit. I like. It was one of the. It was gonna be on this list, and I was like, Alan Wake.
Yeah,
and I was,
that's one of those honorable mentions I was gonna
Yeah.
say before, but then I was like, somebody will have it. Someone's gotta have
someone's
it.
got to fucking. It's such a good game. I,
4 is the one with all the
fucking-
controversy around it too.
Was it? It
No.
didn't seem
It's
that.
in New York, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen
the
that.
one with all the hot coffee
No, no, no,
controversy.
that's-
No, that's San Andreas.
Was it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
The controversy with 4 though is they got rid of flying because of the buildings and
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, there wasn't
Wait.
flying in
They got
4.
Planes.
Planes.
No.
Yeah,
Planes
with planes.
Oh,
No, you
okay.
can ride a helicopter.
Yeah,
I
because
think.
I'm
they
like-
got
Yeah.
rid of planes because they didn't want
The
people
planes was the
fucking
best part
doing-
of San Andreas, though. Like
Yeah.
that was the fucking. And it's funny. I don't know if this was a thing, but it was with me. Every time I got into a plane in San Andreas, fucking Hold the Line came on. Every time I got into a plane, like 90% of the time. Every time I hear that song, I remember flying planes in San Andreas.
that's funny.
But even like when the Liberty City Stories, I just played that recently on the PSP, and even that they put like what's it called, the dodo, but they still cut the fucking wings. I just think with New York, there'll never be any planes. And
Yeah, we'll see what
They
they,
have
do with
planes
6
in
whenever
5.
that comes out. I don't think 6
yeah,
has
but
come
it's
out for a
still
while.
Los Santos, so you know.
Well, they're still tall buildings.
What if they go
Yeah.
Vice City again?
What?
What if they go Vice City again?
Yeah, a lot of people want them to like really do like Britain, like because everyone's like,
Why? That doesn't work
Yeah,
for an
no,
American-made
yeah.
company.
yeah, because like there's fucking
it's
I-
the culture.
yeah.
I mean, because you take
and
it
it's
somewhere
always-
else, it becomes something different. That's why they have Yakuza.
and it's always been an American parody essentially. So
GTA 6 needs to be in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, like just some random Canadian city.
I was
that-
gonna say, put it in like
Yeah.
Denver,
Just-
or
yeah, just,
Houston, or
Like
something.
it literally takes like 3 hours to drive into town. Like
Yeah,
like how they fucking took
Go to Wyoming.
California and condensed it to San Just take all of Canada and condense it into just this fucking
What if
chunk.
they did the cartel?
Yeah.
In Mexico.
Be pretty neat.
no, I think it has to be still in America.
I think that's weird.
San Diego and the cartel.
I
like
think
San
a
Diego,
fictional
Mexico.
South America would be pretty.
No,
dope,
they haven't done
you
anything
know?
that's like mid-western. Have they done Chicago?
I mean,
Who
who
gives a
cares?
shit? Yeah.
I'm just saying it makes it unique because they've had.
Detroit.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Seattle would be
I
dope.
guess Detroit.
If
actually.
Detroit, yeah, it's just every time you get out of your car, you
Right,
get
that makes
shot, you're
sense.
dead.
No,
Like-
Detroit
like-
makes sense
It-
because
it
of
makes
Detroit
sense.
does make sense for.
because the cars. I mean, it's
Yeah.
called Grand Theft Auto.
yeah, you know, okay, we voted.
It's Detroit.
Rockstar, get on it. It's
Get on
Detroit.
Detroit, man.
We've spoken.
That's the one that makes the most
It's
sense
al-
with a
and-
car
and it's already
stealing
scummy.
game.
And people-
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
scummy.
People will confuse it. Detroit Become Human or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
They'll get boosted sales.
They'll just call it Detroit Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And then Detroit Become Human. It's like, I don't know which one do I want to do more.
All right.
My number 3 is Bayonetta.
Oh yeah. See, that's a
Oh,
PS3
boy.
title.
Oh, no, but it's better on 360. That's the problem.
I get that. As I was saying, I played it on PS3.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it's not on my shit.
I have it on my PS3 as well, but I played it first on Xbox because I saw this like, oh, there's a demo for this game. And I was like, I guess I'll try it. And I'm like, holy fuck, I'm buying this game. It's so goddamn good. And there's the music.
So
Yeah, that game is what made Platinum Games my
On the
second
radar.
favorite developer of all time.
Oh man, dude, I
Like,
fucking like
God
Bayonetta.
damn.
Like, so I really was loving it when I was playing it. And I was telling Miguel about this on the ride here. I was like, I ended up stopped playing it for a while because my girlfriend in high school got fucking jealous of Bayonetta because she's fucking
Wow.
watched it. Yeah,
You know,
and it was funny because like
It takes a special breed of insecurity to be
jealous
yeah,
of a
to be
video game
jealous of a
character.
video game character. Yeah.
right, and that's the funny thing is like I was only with her for like 3 months if that, you know, and then fucking. When I broke up with her that night, I fucking finished Bayonetta.
Hell
and,
yeah.
and I was like halfway through the game, so like, and then I just was like, I'm gonna play it again, and I played it on the hard difficulty immediately after beating it.
yeah, it's relatively short. You
Yeah,
can finish it in
exactly.
like 8 hours, but
Yeah,
it's just so much fun. Like Nier Automata is my favorite game of last year, if not, tied for #1 of all time. Platinum Games knows how to make a third-person action RPG
yeah.
like nobody else.
Whenever someone like mentions that they don't like, action games, I'm like, play fucking Bayonetta, dude.
Play Bayonetta. Don't play the second one. so
I actually
much.
haven't played that yet. I'll play it on Switch.
I'm
'cause it's gonna
buying-
be
yeah.
getting it, yeah.
I'm buying a Switch because of Bayonetta 3. Like
Uh-huh.
when they showed that at the Game Awards, which was I was watching it when we were here. I saw that when they announced Bayonetta 3 in the car on the way here, and I was like, cool, now I have a reason to buy a Switch. And it is only, I'll pay $300 for Bayonetta 3, and that's the only reason. I don't really see myself buying any other game on the Switch, but I don't know. Platinum Games is just, they're rock stars, but not Rockstar.
Fucking the music, the design, the
The
characters.
music is nice.
Yeah,
Oh, the
I went on
angels. Oh, it's beautiful.
the fucking the gates of hell, the bar. I like the aesthetic. Everything about that game is just so fucking good. I love Bayonetta.
Even the language that the angels speak is
Oh,
a
yeah.
real language that philosophers in ancient Greece discovered, or quote unquote made up, based on what the like text or ancient text they found. Like
Mhm.
I forget, can't remember his name, but it's a philosopher, a Greek philosopher that said like they used this angelic language
Oh yeah,
for Bayonetta, and it was amazing.
yeah, it's rad.
And also how serious they are with the contrast of how sassy Bayonetta is. It's just a perfect game. So good. Yeah, but aesthetically it's beautiful. I've never seen angels designed the way they are.
Yeah, I've never liked beat/shoot 'em ups, but
Yeah.
Connor
Every
suggests that I
time.
try.
I
Bayonetta.
always
It's
tell 'em
much
play
different than
Bayonetta.
any other
It's
one.
really good, and it's not like God of War where you just smash circle.
No, when someone said, like, I remember playing Bayonetta, and someone said, "Oh yeah, it's the people that made God of War," and I was like,
No,
I
it's-
immediately looked at God of War, and I was like, "There's no Platinum logo on this. This is not Platinum Games."
It's Sony Santa Monica.
right?
Yeah.
Santa Monica Studios, yeah. Even like Dante's Inferno
They're
was
dead
made by
now,
EA
aren't
and Visceral. Santa Monica Studios is still alive and kicking.
Sony Santa Monica is still a studio. They
That's-
don't have God of War.
No, that's right. And then they took PlayStation All Stars from them, put it to a different company, and then closed that company down.
Yeah, that
Sucks.
happened.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But yeah, everything Platinum does. I mean, Nier Automata, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I haven't played Wonderful 101. I don't think Nintendo should have the rights
So
to
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta, because Bayonetta
At
2
least they
is
put it on
there.
PC afterwards.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you think that or not. They bought it.
They bought it. They
I
put
know,
the money in.
but
She's
the
in
prob-
Brawl, or not Brawl, but Smash Bros.
But that means we can't get it on other consoles. It means I can't have Bayonetta on PS4.
And now you can play it anywhere on the
But it
Switch.
means I get Bayonetta 2. Like, why did they do that?
Oh, they just threw it in. Like you're buying.
No. I mean, just that game in general. Like, when they said, hey, we're going to make a second Bayonetta game, why did they do what they did? The entire game is like,
oh, I haven't played.
why
it, so
did
I'm
you
not
do
sure.
this?
Yeah, I'll have to see.
Aesthetically, it's not good. There's a companion character who is just awful. Like, he belongs in a dumpster. I hate that kid. He was the reason I didn't like it the
We'll
most.
talk on that shit. But we gotta
Holy
get through this fucking
shit.
list.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We got
We're
half
almost
an
we're
hour.
almost there. We're almost there.
Well, we got our top twos. Is
We're
the
at number
problem
two.
with that.
You're next
Yeah.
on number two, right, Connor?
But my number 2
And my number one is gonna need some leashing.
is Halo Reach, so we can
Whoa,
skip that
good
because we
game.
talked about it.
Hold on. I'm going to talk about this one a little bit.
Let's get back to Halo Reach.
Get back into Halo Reach. I was really gonna put Halo 3 because I fucking loved the story and I love the soundtrack from Halo 3.
Oh, yeah. The
You know,
soundtrack's beautiful.
Like just because they had that really slow theme going on with the where the piano was kind of dying, and
Dude, but the menu music on Reach.
Well, the menu music, yeah, that was. But like the thing that really sealed it in, also with Halo Reach, is it also had like what is it's not
play
called
that song. You didn't play that song before.
Oh,
I was hoping that would be the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, I went to put it on, and then it the dun dun dun, but it fucking did the other shit.
The Noble song or whatever.
Yeah, the OST overture. Fucking is like
OST was not a very good game.
ODST.
ODST is what I meant. It
There it
wasn't
is.
as good.
So, yeah, I was originally gonna put 3 because of the fucking because of the story being so much closure. Is this the one you want? This is
No, this is the first level.
no, this is the theme/menu song.
This is the menu song?
Yeah,
Which
I-
It
one?
has
know.
the drums you were doing.
No, the drums I'm doing is like do 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 do.
it's later in the song, I think.
Do, 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 do.
But
It's like big ass war drums.
no,
Is that not Reach?
might not be.
This is a good song anyway.
But what really seals in Reach though, like, cause like I said, Halo 3, I played the shit out of it. I love fucking Guardian and Epitaph are like my favorite fucking levels.
Epitaph.
But Halo
Remember
Reach
that a lot.
had it's not called Horde mode. What the fuck was it called?
Oh, it was
Sure.
the same as in ODST.
Yeah. Strike? No. It's either way, that mode, Nate and I fucking played the shit out of that. That mode right there, like, made it so it was just replayable as fuck. And then the story was really fun.
And that wasn't even the strongest part of the game.
Yeah, and then it was just really good multiplayer. And then the fact that they had the community-made maps that like got cycled in through if they were like voted up enough. It was the Halo Reach is fucking fantastic. So, and it still has the good gunplay where they didn't fuck it up. They didn't make it a Twitch shooter. They made it to where if someone starts shooting at you, you could turn around, turn the tables, and actually win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And use a gravity hammer
Yeah,
in Halo
shit like
3.
and when you no scope someone in Halo, it's fucking.
It
cool.
feels good.
It's like I fucking did that.
Yeah.
I think it's because of how much of a task it is to kill someone in that game.
Yeah.
If you get a no scope, it's like that dude's just done.
But I have it was from Halo 3. I have it saved on my fucking my
your
Halo
file
share
share.
thingy. It's a double kill no scope on doubles, and one of the guys was invisible, and it was a pickup kill too. Like
Grabbed it,
like they
turned.
were shooting at me. I dropped down, picked it up, double kill, headshot, and I was like, no fucking way. My buddy was like, what the fuck was that? He was
Doubles is fun.
Yeah.
No Destiny for Valentine's Day 1 year did a doubles, and I thought that was like the coolest thing because it's not just doubles; it's Valentine's Day, so it's themed. It's adorable.
That was
Everything you
pretty
get is like red
So-
and pink. I'm like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
cute.
Halo Reach though, number 2. We talked about it. Got a little more in on there because I wanted to say a couple more things.
Right.
But what's your number 2?
My number 2, ironically, is also a number 2. It's not ironic, actually. It's Borderlands 2.
Yeah, buddy. See another
Borderlands.
sequel that is incredible.
Borderlands
Yeah.
motherfucking 2.
A sequel that's
God.
better than the first.
And I played it like I didn't like Borderlands 1 so much.
Yeah,
Like, it got boring real quick to me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But then Borderlands 2, like they
How did that one
overhauled-
not make my list? You're right.
They
Borderlands
overhauled
2
the
is
fuck out of
amazing.
Borderlands and made Borderlands 2 like it's the game I've played the most times, like throughout the whole story. and
Yeah,
everything.
we played through it like together.
Oh, the
and
music.
everything.
on
Thank you for
PC.
this
See,
song.
that's the thing is like, okay, when it came to Borderlands, I played the first one like a bit, and I was kind of like, okay, it's fun. So I skipped out on Borderlands 2 because I didn't think it was worth getting. And then you were like, no, you gotta fucking play
That's
it.
a mistake.
Borderlands 2 is a million.
And then
times
I
better.
played it with you, and I was like, that was fucking great.
You know what I hate about Borderlands 2?
Huh.
Is the whole beginning sequence.
I don't even hate.
I mean,
that.
just like the beginning in the snow,
yeah,
working with the guy, and just getting past all of the snow.
But it's short enough. Like it only takes you like.
I liked the
15
game enough.
minutes?
I don't
that
know, getting Sanctuary or whatever it is, yeah, out of there is like the most. I don't know. It's just annoying because I've done it so many times that I'm like,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
play Borderlands 2.
Well,
And
he's
then,
played it. Shit.
like,
Miguel's played it like
goddamn.
8 times.
Okay.
Yeah, no more. I've,
Okay,
I've
more than that
definitely
shit.
more than 10 times I've gone through
Fair.
that game because I've made 5 characters on 360. I've made 3 characters on PS4 so far. I did 2 on PC.
After I played with you, I played it 2 more times on Vita. Like, it's a good fucking game. So,
Oh man,
Borderlands 2 is the shit.
it is.
And like, I was always surprised that you didn't get it on Vita because it's like just being able to have it and play it even more.
But
But you had already played the shit out
I
of
also
it.
just didn't like the idea of playing it on Vita like functionally
Oh,
because controllers are already like usually like too small for me. Like
Oh. See, I have tiny fucking shitty Trump
Playing
hands.
games that intricate is not for fucking handheld.
Well, see,
it needs to be
prefer
quick
handhelds.
and simple.
That's the
on
deal.
handheld.
I prefer handhelds. I've always have. Maybe it's because like when I was younger, I didn't know I was fucking nearly blind, so I always had the screen that was more clear for me. Because I didn't know I needed glasses until like 5th grade. So
if they just made the Joy-Cons a little bit bigger, the Switch would be like the culmination of
Dude,
perfection.
speaking of small ass controllers, my daughter's trying to get me to play Mario Kart, but we only have the one controller.
with the half.
So she wants me to play with the half, and like we started playing for like 2. I'm like, fuck, I can't fucking do this. My hands, I don't have extremely big hands, but you know,
I gotta
like,
check
it's
with you. 'Cause
impossible, dude.
Mine are probably smaller than yours, but I need to figure
You
that
got
out.
some fucking catcher's mitts on now. You just got a big ass head. You don't got big. Your hands are normal.
My hands are
His
pretty
hands are
small.
actually small.
For
What's
my
that?
size.
Yeah,
their
his
size,
hands are.
They're
Yeah.
They don't look too small because they're like meaty, but they're small hands.
I don't like where, okay, so on the right Joy-Con, how the analog stick is directly below the buttons and very close to the buttons.
Yeah.
So every time I try to hit
It's impossible.
any of
Yeah.
the buttons, I'm hitting the joystick. Like, who
Oh,
did
when you
this?
hold it sideways.
No, just like normal.
Always.
Oh, normal.
Normal
Oh,
is
Normal
like-
to me, it feels
With
fine.
my
analog
Like I don't
sticks
have a
here.
problem
Totally
with the
fine with
two.
it.
Normal to me, my hands are too big for that shit. Like, I
Exactly.
can't comfortably hold the Switch.
You're sitting there
Yeah.
trying to hit the button, and the analog stick's like.
What I do instead is I take them off, I dock it or something, or I'll like stand it up, and I'll put my hands behind my head.
Oh, that would work.
Dude, so
That
what I do with
would
the Switch is I take the Joy-Cons off. I put the Switch on either my bed or the couch, just on its back, and then I lay on my stomach with the like a mummy, basically, fucking like this, and just stare at the fucking screen laying on my stomach. That's how I fucking play a lot of times.
Wow.
It's fucking comfy.
This is Borderlands.
But yeah,
2.
Borderlands 2
Borderlands 2, yes.
really
Borderlands 2,
defined
yes.
a genre.
Oh,
It
yeah.
kind of created a genre. You know, the open world first-person shooter.
I feel like it influenced Destiny.
It
too
absolutely,
heavily.
no, absolutely. Destiny is completely taken for
Specifically
Borderlands.
Destiny 2.
It's
Well, yeah.
it's a less funny Borderlands.
Absolutely, yeah.
More
It's what I
serious.
always told people when I would come into GameStop and say, "Oh, I'm playing Destiny, but I want something different." I'm like, get Borderlands.
Get
what are you doing?
Borderlands.
Yeah,
Play
Borderlands
the
2.
Hanksome collection.
Yeah, the hands more.
Oh yeah, dude, Handsome Collection's the
I
best
really
shit.
like the pre-sequel for gameplay because being
I
in
never finished
space,
the pre-sequel for some reason.
it's fun.
It's
I
like the
really
same
liked
game.
it.
I don't
It's
know why I
short. It's short, but it's really good.
Huh. I don't know why I never finished.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the music died.
Cool.
So what's your number 2, Daryl?
My number 2, and I'm gonna get laughed out the fucking building for my number 2. But my list, I have to remind everybody that my list isn't necessarily the greatest 360 games. They're just
Just
the
ones
the
that you
ones
like.
that I played
Yeah.
the most.
Well, that's what it's
That's
supposed
how
to
it
be.
is.
yeah. So NHL 2011 by
Wow.
EA is my number 2. That's the one I played probably the second most, other than my number. My number 1's even more laughable. But
Tell us
reason
about
I
it.
pick 11 is because it brought me into the modern NHL games. I've always played the SNES ones, N64, Wayne Gretzky, 3D hockey, Open Ice, Hits, all the arcade ones. But I never played any of the sim games. And 11 was the first one where I got to, of course, play online, start developing teams, more skill, more sim. If you know hockey and you know how hockey works, then this is when the series started to become more of a sim and not just a run around and hit everyone and hit the fucking puck. But that's it for me. I mean, other than it, like I said, it's hockey. What am I gonna fucking explain about hockey, about how dope it is? It's the game that brought me into the modern day hockey games. Of course, 18, and 17, 16, much better than the old ones. But
It's the one that
for me, 11 was the one. I got it for $2.
There you go.
So
You know,
NHL
it's-
2011,
it's
EA
funny-
Sports, is fucking cocksuckers.
It's funny that Andrew's not here because
Yeah.
you're filling in like what Andrew would say a lot of times.
He would
'cause-
be he's that guy that we
Yeah.
just ignore while he talks about
The
sports
Major
games.
League
Yeah.
Baseball 2009.
There's not much to say about it. Like I said, unless we're gonna talk hockey, then there's not much to say about it. It's a good hockey game. It's a good sim.
Mhm. So Brandon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2.
It's Bioshock.
yeah, there you
I mean,
go.
we talked about it, but I mean, I could talk more about it because
Plasmids,
fucking
gunplay,
Bioshock.
shooting.
I have a hard. Okay,
things.
so Bioshock for me is really difficult to define which one's my favorite. I always tell people my favorite Bioshock game is Bioshock Infinite, Burial at Sea, episodes 1 and 2 together.
Good. Yeah.
Like those two, Bioshock Infinite, Burial at Sea, episodes 1 and 2 is incredible.
Because it has the original Bioshock like mood going on.
Yeah.
And it's got like the enhanced stuff going on from.
Well,
Stuff.
I mean,
stuff. I don't want to say because there's
okay.
a lot of different. I don't even.
I'll
Want to
tell
say
you
enhanced,
why
it's-
I
it's
like it.
tweaked.
I'll tell you why it's my favorite. So Bioshock 1, unbelievably perfect. Number 2,
So good.
story could have been better, but the gameplay was a lot of fun. Infinite was phenomenal until the end.
But it's like, how
I actually enjoyed.
But
the
look at
ending.
this. So I thought I knew where this was going. I thought it was going to tie into Bioshock 1. I was like, oh, I can see it. I know what's going to happen. This is going to. And then no. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, first game. Fuck you, everything Bioshock. Let's just say, oh, it's just infinite realities. It's all going to happen regardless of what you do. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was on a path. Like, this was going to lead to Bioshock 1. It's going to be perfect. And you just told me that everything I do, no matter what, doesn't matter because anybody is going to do that exact same thing in any reality.
Well,
for an infinite amount of time. Are you serious? So nothing I do is special.
Well, no, like that's still what I like about the ending because it shows that there was like a wrench thrown in everything because.
Is that a pun? Is that a pun? Is that a jab at the first game because you get a wrench?
Well, it's because it wasn't your Elizabeth that kills you. Spoiler alert.
How did? Okay, no, but you didn't.
No,
she didn't kill you. That's the thing.
No,
is like
no, but that's the thing is it's not your Elizabeth because it's the only like it's one of the key choices that you had in the game was choosing the pendant that she wears. And the one that drowns you is not wearing the same pendant that you chose.
No, right, but it doesn't matter because you're all the same Booker. You're all Booker, and she's all Elizabeth.
Well, I mean,
so regardless
but
of
also,
which version of your daughter it is, that's what it is. But that's not the part I don't like.
Well, that's
like,
the thing is Comstock is also you.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the part I don't like. The part that I don't like is that this was supposed to lead into Rapture, into Bioshock 1. And it said, no, there's infinite amount of realities, so it doesn't matter. There's always a city. Always a man. Like, it's always going to happen. So it's like, oh, so plasmids and vigors don't have anything. They're not related at all because they're two separate realities. It's not the same world. And that was really fucked up.
And it's like
until they said.
When it was coming out, like people were talking about the dates. It's like, oh, this is a prequel.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
then
everyone
even.
expected it to lead into Bioshock.
Yeah, and it's not a prequel because guess what? It doesn't fucking matter. But then Burial at Sea episodes 1 and 2 came out, and it was like, oh, this is a prequel. And the only two realities out of the infinite amount of realities that matter are these two. Like Columbia and Rapture are the only ones that matter because they are connected. And once they made that connection for the story was when those became my favorite.
Necro G says the Barbershop Beach Boys cut was the shit.
It was pretty good.
I love
the whole segment where the old songs are coming on.
Yeah, or like
from different times.
Yeah, like the woman is like singing it in like a what is it called, a hymn. She's singing John Fogerty, "It Ain't Me." Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, well, no, my favorite though
Son.
is the little house that's like hard to get into because it's always moving, but it plays Girls Just Want to Have Fun, but it's the actual version.
Yeah,
on a record
good.
player,
Yeah, I
like
was like,
that
how the
was so cool because that was a good little indication that was
Time
a
was getting
tear.
fucked.
Yeah, so.
But I think Bioshock 1 just had like more characters that were like on the level of
Absolutely.
Booker and Elizabeth. That's why 1 is better.
Like I had Bioshock 1 on my list. I did play the episodes 1 and 2 on 360 as well, but I do consider those my favorite. But Bioshock 1 came out, 2007.
Because
we're 7.
Yeah, that's when I got it when it first came out. I had no idea about it, but it blew me away. And it was the first time I ever got scared in a video game. And yeah, I played Resident Evil and Silent Hill, but
fucking Bioshock scared you.
those ones didn't bother me at all, but this one caught me off guard a lot.
Now,
yeah,
we're on the topic. My number 1 is Bioshock.
Oh yeah,
You're next anyway.
Yeah, and since we're going, like, I just want to point in there. It's like it was kind of my first violent game, like not Doom, because I played Doom when I was fucking 3. And
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, no, but like my first like real deal, like this is M-rated shit.
You mean ripping a fucking head and spine out in Mortal Kombat 1 wasn't violent?
I mean,
No.
it's like,
No.
I don't know. Like I always see it,
No.
it's like it's so comical. Whereas in Bioshock, it's not comedy. It's like in your fucking face, raw, like you cremate a dude and all that shit.
I'm glad
Yeah, it's pretty
Cut
disturbing.
his head off, take off his fucking soul, man.
What's up?
I'm glad you did that. Other than that, it just happened to work out that way because my number 1 needs time.
Okay, yeah, and I just want to say because like so I was mentioning this to Miguel. Bioshock 1, I sat down and I didn't stop playing it. I was supposed to like clean the house and do all this other shit for my parents. They went to like Vegas with like the family and everything, and I had all these things to do. And I slept for like 4 hours on this one weekend, and I just played through all of Bioshock 1 and did like fucking everything. And I really loved it. It was like 2 days of just playing Bioshock. And I was like, that was fucking amazing. And then like I beat it literally as the credits were rolling. They arrived at the house. I was like, oh shit, they're here early. I don't have time to fucking do any of the chores because I thought it was going to be like, oh, they'll arrive at like 5 p.m. And then I loved it so much that I fucking started it up again that night. Like it's the only game that I've legitimately just played it and I was like, I'm playing it fucking again right now. is that like it's so fucking good. And I just wanted to throw that story out there because we've been talking about BioShock. It's my number one, and it's the only game I've done that with. It's so fucking good.
Borderlands 2, by the way, was the game I
amazing.
mentioned because in the car.
Oh,
right,
yeah,
you were
'cause-
like, it's the only game I was like
And then you
finished
said
and
you
then
got one.
gone to again. And Borderlands 2 was actually.
So there is one thing I have to say about Bioshock that's really unique too.
Go for
Is the stories within the game that aren't told that you
Right?
can pick up on.
Dude, yeah, there's
Like
so much.
there's one in particular that is just it's always going to be there for me. Is you walk into this room and it's just like a mattress with two skeletons kind of holding each other and a bottle of pills next to it and a bunch of bottles of alcohol on the other side. And you go in the bathroom and pick up a recording and it's like their last night together. And it's like they committed suicide so they didn't have to die by the splicers in
Oh
Rapture.
yeah, that was fucking.
That was
raw.
nuts.
Okay, well, you got like almost no time left because we also.
Yeah,
have
let's
music.
hurry up.
Oh,
Brandon,
Bioshock.
you know number one.
So
No.
hot take your number one.
Do I?
Yes.
Is it Dark Souls?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, Dark Souls.
I told you, you know it.
Oh, see, I mentioned it in the car. You were like, no, and I was like, what?
What? No, you said,
Gotcha.
is it Dark Souls, the one that I've played back to back?
Oh, that's right.
Let me just say
Yeah.
really quick, Dark Souls is the reason I'm in school for game design and $80,000 in debt because of it. So yes, I understand.
Fucking rap
Understand.
God, why you love Dark Souls?
Rap God?
That's
Why I
just
Love
really
Dark
fast.
Go.
Oh no, but yeah, Dark Souls. It's the closest thing to a perfect game I've ever played. I've put over 1,000 hours into it across like 3 platforms.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
Yeah.
have 500 hours on Dark Souls 3 alone.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think I only have 302 and then only like 103 so far. I kind of fell off of it for some
Oh my
reason.
god.
Anyway, yeah, Dark Souls 1 just kept me coming back. I know you mentioned you didn't like the PvP so much, but
I
that's
didn't
where
do much of it because I played on PC.
I spent so many hours doing PvP.
In the forest?
Min max. Yes, yes, I was a forest bro.
Of course you
Min
were.
maxing and just like because like there was no upward limit. So if
Right,
you
I
were
get
120, you could just brawl with dudes that were like level 7 on 11, the max level.
Yeah, yeah. Just invade them and
just
just
fuck
you.
on them, dude. Like that was how much I played that
Dark
game.
Souls 3 fixed that by doing level scaling.
Well, they've always had it, but the forest.
Not
was
in
the way-
2. Not in 2. You can one shot
soul,
people.
Soul memory. Yeah. That's true.
But yeah,
Like Dark
Level
Souls
design.
1, Dark Souls 1, the best way to do it was go to the forest because that's where the level cap was gone.
level design, story,
Or the
environments.
upper limit.
I'm just thinking of everything perfect about the game.
Right, it's all perfect.
The
You
best part is
you-
halfway through the game when you get over that wall and you see Orlando and you go, "This is the best game ever made."
And you
And
think
guess what? That's the halfway
it's not
point.
even. I wouldn't even say it is. I say it's like a third of the way through.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it's like, and it seems conclusive too. You're like, oh shit, I'm already. I'm like, I'm gonna.
I
fight the
played it
main-
so much, I grind the fuck out of it before I go over to Orlando because I know once I'm there, I can't. You know, I have to stay there until I beat Ornstein and Smo.
Mhm.
And just that reach from, the bonfire or even the 2 bonfires to inside the cathedral
It's hard to
is
get
the
there.
worst. That is the worst part in any fucking Dark Souls game is going across those fucking rooftops.
No, the only reason Dark Souls 1 is not
No.
perfect is because of Blighttown, I would say.
And
And it's
fair.
only
That's
because
fair.
of only because of actual like constraints of the game and like it wasn't made to run well enough.
It doesn't even run well on PC, which sucks
Yeah.
because of the filters.
And it's
but-
broken. Blighttown is broken. That's the only like flaw in that game, I would say.
There's one thing I like about Blighttown is because the level design.
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
The fact that I can get lost after tens of times of running through the entire game is insane. The fact that there's 3 different ways to go through it, and I get lost every time.
Yeah, dude. Like if I didn't run through the game multiple times, I would have never known. There's 4 connections to Blighttown.
Yeah,
There's 4 you can come through the
even the
Valley
Great
Joints,
Hollow. Like I
Great
did not know
Hollow.
about the Great Hollow my first 2 playthroughs
right?
because there's no way for you to know.
Well,
there's no reason to
kinda.
go over there.
Because if you roll into that wall, it does it too.
Yeah, but
So
there's
if
2
you-
walls,
If you get chased in there,
and that's a random place to go to in Blighttown because it's so far away from your goal.
right? But you
There's
could just
nothing
be
over
lost.
there.
You could just be wandering because you don't know where
Yeah,
to go.
in Poison, no, I'm gonna stay as close to safety as I
No,
can.
but if you come in through the depths instead, when you get to the bottom, that's the thing that's straight across from you.
You're still
instead of
poisoned
Quilog's
still.
place.
But you wouldn't know
But
it's
you,
there.
But you see that tree trunk and you see that it leads somewhere, and you're like, that's.
Well,
the
you
place
see
to
a
go.
tree trunk and a hollow in it, but you don't really think. In those kind of games, it's not something that grabs your attention as this is something to explore.
I think it is. That's how I found it.
All right.
I was going
Fair.
out there getting all the items because I was like, there's got to be shit out here. It's
Well,
a
that's what
poisonous swamp.
makes Dark Souls unique.
And I was like, okay, that's a place to go for sure.
And
And
funny
then-
that From Software knows how to make poison swamps shitty and memorable at the same time. Like they made in Dark Souls 3, the entire Farron swamp has so much fucking stuff in
I
it.
hate it.
And yeah, and you can get lost because it's just a giant circle,
Mm-hmm.
but not just a circle; it's a weird shape.
Uh-huh.
But there's
And all
th-
these
like,
weird shaped paths.
Yeah.
And shit that's blocking your way.
and there's like 3 bonfires. Like shit, I just need to find like the Watchdog of Farron so I can go up the ladder to get to the demon over there. But don't know how to get to that ladder.
Wait a second, Daryl, what's your number one?
Sorry, yeah.
I'll make mine very quick. My real number one doesn't even qualify because it's not even a 360 game, but it's the one I logged the most hours on. Is of course Marvel Capcom 2, and when I was finally able to fucking play that online was the greatest goddamn day of my life. But my number one, unfortunately, and I'm the lamest motherfucker in the room, but I used to be a pro wrestler, and I love wrestling games. No Mercy is still one of my favorite fucking games of all time for 64. Wrestling games fucking suck now; they're goddamn garbage. But the best wrestling game in the series, the current, you can't even count the current series, the SmackDown versus Raw series. The SmackDown versus Raw series was the best for PS2 and 360, but SmackDown versus Raw 2011 was the perfection of that fucking engine. It was the first time you were able to put your characters online instead of having to tirelessly make every single fucking wrestler you knew. Someone could just make it once, put online. You could get the whole CZW roster. You know, if you're into more underground indie shit, it was way easier to get more characters. But the engine was smooth. It was fun without being too realistic. And wrestling games need to, it's wrestling. It's fake. All right.
Yeah,
I don't need to be, I don't need a fucking real sim. Give me a fun fucking game that's not too arcadey, just the kind of the perfect balance of fake and fucking simulation. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, best 360 game. I know there's so many other great fucking Dark Souls and Halos and all the other games, but I suck at those.
Okay.
So I play them for a little bit and then drop them. But I don't know how much time I lost on fucking SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. So that's my number one.
I get what you're saying.
Fight me.
But let me just say, my number one, it is the number one. I'm sorry, it's not my number one. Is Fallout New Vegas, one of the greatest games of all time.
I love that game. I played it on PC, so it's not a
Fair.
360 title.
Yeah,
It's
see,
so
for me, I played on 360 first. This is how perfect this game is. I took Bethesda's map. I've been to Vegas plenty of fucking times. I love Vegas. I took their map. I went to Vegas by myself because I love the city. And I used Bethesda's in-game map to get to the Hoover Dam.
Wow.
And it works.
That's funny as shit.
It's incredible.
I was surprised.
Fallout New Vegas.
What did you play Dark Souls on?
At first, I played on PS3, PC, and I never really had it on 360. So,
there it is.
but Fallout New Vegas, goddamn, like Bethesda knows what they're doing. Obviously, I mean Skyrim's been made like 6 times, but Obsidian Entertainment in like having their hand in this, making it feel like the original 2 Fallout games, story and content wise,
It's so fucking
is
good.
incredible. Yeah, they added so much content for side quests, for characters, for companions. Wasn't like Fallout 3 where the story was streamlined and extremely short. You know, this one started out with not being in a vault, which was very unique.
Yeah.
You know, you were shot in the head, so right off the bat,
shallow
it wasn't.
grave.
Yeah, you already had a reason to care because someone shot you in the head, and you said, "All right, I want to find this guy." But that was a dialogue option for you to choose to say, "I want to kill the guy who did this to me." So you don't even have to do that.
Yeah, you can totally see, and that's what I love about New Vegas is that they let you be who you wanted to be, and that was a problem that I had with 4 because 4 you couldn't be a dick.
No,
You couldn't be evil. Like you.
there
could,
was good and bad karma. There was good and
Yeah.
bad karma within factions. There were factions like. God
Yeah,
damn,
like,
Fallout New Vegas is
You could be
perfect.
like, hey,
For-
fuck you guys, but you're cool. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're cool. Fuck you. You know,
Well, like,
you
you
had
can
a
be
whole
on-
dynamic. It was so good.
You can be on super good terms with the NCR, rank all the way up with them, and then go around killing them to get their armor and weapons, and they'll just see you as a dark hero because you did some bad things, but you already maxed out your max karma with them. So it's like so unique in all these little things you can mess with the system, but make it still feel cohesive as a story and a world. And it all makes sense. The DLCs were amazing.
That's kinda
oh
weird,
God,
Dark
I love
Hero.
that game. I know Dark Hero is one of them. Yeah,
Yeah, you totally could be this.
'Cause it's like, we
dark
like you.
anti-hero type thing.
yeah. It's like you're a good guy. We like you because you're fighting for our cause, but we don't trust you. You know, the characters were very well-rounded. I love the humor and the like when you get to Prim. You know, they Whiskey Pete's. They have like Buffalo Bills, like Whiskey Pete's, and oh no, Whiskey Pete's is actually. What is the other one? Bison Steve's. That's what it is.
Bison
It's
Steve's and
Bison
Buffalo
Steve's.
Bills,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was the funniest fucking shit when I first saw that. It even has a
pretty
roller
good.
coaster outside.
Also, like you actually statted out how your kit was, like, and how weapons reacted. So, if you wanted to, you could be like, I'm only going to use revolvers.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, and you'll stat out to where it's like that's not a total far-fetched idea. Whereas, like in Fallout 4, they just made it so where it's like you're good with just all guns, I guess.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's that like you could get perks for different types of guns, and then you could upgrade those
Yeah,
guns
but
specifically.
it's like but
It's
it
not very
didn't have this like the feel of where you made that character be a certain person. Like if you statted out in Fallout New Vegas to be a gunman for revolvers,
because you have to rank up small guns.
you became like a really fucking good revolver gunman, but you like weren't necessarily rounded everywhere else. Whereas in Fallout 4, you really could just keep using other guns. And they did that mostly for the
But
for
there
the
were
variety.
separate perks for the different types of weapon
They
classes.
did,
and stuff.
but it wasn't like
'Cause there were-
nearly
there
in
were, like,
depth. Like,
4.
it also just kept going as you kept playing. Like you could keep leveling up. Whereas in New Vegas, it was concrete. It was like you have limited options. You have to specialize, or you're a pancake person.
But like
with,
everything
no
is so
skills.
like memorable. Like all these little
Mhm.
puzzles just to get into Vegas, like into the Strip, is extremely unique, and it's not something I ever grow tired of. The one flaw of New Vegas, I have to say, is Dead Money, the Sierra Madre Hotel. Holy fuck, I hate that DLC. I don't hate it as bad as other things, but
You know what I hate?
fuck, dude.
It's the end of the show.
I hate that. Yeah.
It's,
What?
we
It's the
we
end
have
of
to
the
cut
show.
it in. I mean, we don't have a show after us, so it's okay that we bleed a little bit over. But we do have
We got paid bills though.
we got D's music
Fallout New
too.
Vegas.
So before we go
Fallout
out,
New Vegas.
Daryl, go ahead and introduce your song. What is it about? We're gonna play it. And that'll
All
be our
right,
closer.
not the first new, second new Sinister X song in over 15 or 14 fucking years. This song is called Evil Thoughts. It's myself, Necro G, Ra's al Ghul, and Doc Wicked, Sinister X and the Seventh Sign. I went to a very, very, very dark place when I wrote this verse. It's very horrorcore. If you guys don't like that type of music, you're probably gonna fucking hate it.
No, go to
But
Thor.
this is some horror movie type shit. I work in a fucking insane asylum, Patton State Hospital. If you're local, you know it. And my verse was very, very much inspired by the people that I work with. So enjoy, of course, Sinister X on Facebook. You can check us out. Check out, hold on, I promised fucking Slice I would.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, fuck, what was the name of their boys' fucking show?
Somebody challenge.
Underland Radio on iTunes. Check them out. But yeah, Sinister X, Brain Dead Killers coming out this summer. The reissue, fucking 15-year anniversary with brand new content, new EP, Seventh Sign. Check them out on Facebook. It's gonna be the shit.
I want to respond, Glenn. I do not hate Fallout 4. I just don't like it as much as New Vegas. It was
Yeah,
a
that's
good
fair.
game.
I like Fallout 4.
I
had fun
definitely
with it.
enjoyed it.
Also, Necro G has a perfectly reasonable list himself. Top 5.
Jerry,
We're
you guys
gonna-
would I really,
Yeah.
really wanted to get Jerry in here
So-
for this.
so-
One of these weeks, even without me, you got to have Jerry in here. You guys will have fun with him.
Necro G
Yeah.
says Shadowrun for number 5, Far Cry 3 number 4, fucking good game. Batman Arkham City for number 3. Number 4 was Far Cry. Red Dead Redemption number 2. That's a fucking PS3 game for me. You'll see that next week or whenever we do PS3.
What was his number one?
Number 1 is GTA 5.
All right.
I do
All right.
have to throw in, sorry, Far Cry Blood Dragon.
That's
Far
a
Cry Blood
fucking
Dragon,
good game.
but that was
That's
on my
PC.
PS3 as well.
Yeah, so we'll see that.
All right.
All right, everybody. This is the Kind of Gaming Show on Chaotic Radio.
Bye-bye.
We love you. See you next time. And here is Sinister X's Evil Thoughts.
Keep thinking I'm candy. My rhymes get me to the top. It only took one lick to get the center of your girl's tootsie pop. Drop beats in the street, get a hoochie yelling, hey yeah, ride shit sweet, yeah. This many years in the making, in the corner, I'll be goggling up love while I'm shaking. I'm disgusting, horrifying, crazy, demonic, you pussy. Drop your pants, spread your legs, cause I'm on it. The judge, I sweet talk that bitch. After committing murder, you got my fingerprint shit. I would admit it, feeling more and more ruthless. It's me now, think about my future too sick. We multiplying, it's getting out of control. Have demon angels roaming, they giving us all. Rashes are altered, the reverends are pedophiles. But all I wanna do is walk the green mile. Rock shows, clock, bitch, asshole. Stop this hell, no, drop shit that's cold. This sick, this goes, fuck, this and balls. If the X in the side coming back to blow. Rock shows, clock, bitch, asshole. Stop this hell, no, drop shit that's cold. This sick, this goes, fuck, this and balls. If the X in the side coming back to blow.
Know your role, shut your mouth and play your parts. And roll, hop on the blade out, it's razor sharp. Your pants my stain as I fillet your heart. Now wants the light change as it fades to dark. Got even thoughts. The plot is to save or not. Pop the top, open doors, boxes, sailors lock. Shot, jaws drop, screaming, make them stop. G and I's got the goss and the flames is hot. While you pray to God, go with nods to the seventh sign. Make your head bob on a job, go and bet your life. Catch a knife, what's that left behind? Never mind, getting dropped off in the spot that they'll never find. Got a clever mind, evil thoughts clean eventually. I said response beings, rotten fools to entities. Got enough amenities for all my enemies. Evil thoughts in this sauce is rudimentary.
Rock show, clock, bitch asshole. Stop this, hell no, drop shit that's cold. This sick, this goes, fuck, flips and blows. If the X and the sign coming back to blow. Rock show, clock, bitch asshole. Stop this, hell no, drop shit that's cold. This sick, this goes, fuck, flips and blows. If the X and the sign coming back to blow.
Got that play association, neurons misplacing. Serotonin, dopamine. My vibration's schizophrenic. I'm stressing, intestines and I get arrested. They sent me to pen, don't know what happened. Shopping the drugs, now laughing. I'm strapped in, I can't move, I can't breathe, I can't see. The spit mask is on me, they tell me hold steady. Zyprexas and IVs, pop benzos like candies until they release me out loud with my hands. Spoke khakis, no laces. I'm packed inside faces with J-cats and bases. Retards and racists, showmos and rapists. I scrape off their faces, they die like disgraces. What are those thoughts, what are those actions? You keep reacting to voices, no choices, it's pointless. I'll tell you, Doc, it's getting hopeless. I wrap that sheet around my throat and all that damn bitch post.
Rock show, clock, bitch asshole. Stop this, hell no, drop shit that's cold. This sick, this goes, fuck, flips and blows. If the X and the sign coming back to blow. Rock show, clock, bitch asshole. Stop this, hell no, drop shit that's cold. This sick, this goes, fuck, flips and blows. If the X and the sign coming back to blow.
Don't you ever turn your back to me. I might pull your intestines out your mouth and hang you from a tree with them just to get a laugh. I might chop you in half like Kylo Ren did to Snoke just cause you're a joke to me. And here's the punchline, knife to the eye socket. Fill your head with rockets, make your head go boom. Brains all over the place and all over your girlfriend's face. Seven sign and sinister X, we're punching out of your checks and then we're splitting